I'm literally a whack. I'm literally a whack. The whack doters. The whack is real. The whack is real. You just have to believe. You have to believe in the whack. I am a whack. I'm sure she's fully prepared to slap at a moment's notice if we push her. Actually, I am less sleepy than I was on Tuesday. I got a pretty decent sleep last night. Like I managed. I wouldn't say I went to bed early, but like I went to bed earlier because I did a lot yesterday. I did a lot of walking yesterday, so I was tired. She's still dreaming about starting stream. No. I mean, to be fair, I have actually. Actually, I don't know. I've dreamed about watching other people's streams. I don't know if I've ever dreamed about streaming. I'm sure it'll happen one of these days. It'll happen one of these days, but I don't think it's happened yet somehow, which is weird because I stream quite a bit. It occupies quite a bit of my time, and yet I don't think I've ever dreamed of. I don't think I've ever had a dream about streaming. But yeah, let's be a bit more whack. Let's be even more. Let's be more whack. Let's turn off this sleepy music.
I dreamt of EGGY watching my stream.
What's a good volume? That's a decent volume, I think. That should be a good volume. That should be okay. I think I'll be okay. I dreamt of EGGY watching my stream. Oh, so I'm in your dreams. I'm showing up in other people's dreams. I'm showing up to other people's streams and other people's dreams.
EGGY turning into an eldritch creature and dragged me into the void.
No. I have EGGY dreams. I don't know. When VTubers show up in your dreams, because one thing I found is like, when VTubers show up in my dreams, they don't always look the same, right? Sometimes it's like they look like a 3D model. Like they're just like a 3D model of the VTuber walking around the world. And I mean, I guess if it's somebody that I've met outside of VTubing, like somebody I've met in person, then I guess like their flesh form will show up. But I feel like I've also had dreams where like there's just some person. like they'll just be like some random person and my brain is just somehow like, yep, this is this VTuber. That's just how it goes. That's just how it is. And it's like, I have no idea if my brain is correct. Like, if I'm subconsciously imagining the correct form of the person, or if my brain is just, like, making something up. Just like, yep, that guy is this person. Yeah, sure. Why not? Yeah, VTuber showing up in my dream was kind of like their model. Yeah, but, like, is it, like, do I look like an anime girl, or do I look like a real flesh human with, like, blonde hair and stuff? Yeah, I can instantly tell it's a dream because my subconscious can never create the subtle aspects that make a person. My subconscious has its own bias and perceptions. Yeah. You kind of look like the human version of your model. Okay, so I'm like I'm blonde lady. I'm blonde lady. Interesting. Interesting. Because, like, I don't know. I feel like I've also had dreams where, like, people were going back and forth. Like, I feel like I've had dreams where, like, people were, like, transforming into their VTuber selves. Like, it was people I knew what they actually looked like. And then they would, like, transform into their VTuber self. And they would just transform back. Like, they would just go back and forth whenever they felt like it. Yeah, you were anime girl in mine? Interesting. 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 I will have to perform wider research. Wider research. But yeah, no, I don't remember what dream I had last night. But that's fine. I got enough sleep, which is the point. But yeah, yesterday I went out and did a lot of walking. I did a lot of walking. And I don't know, I probably could have done more walking if I was better prepared. Because basically I went out to this one, like, park, beach, waterside place because I was like, oh, I need to film something for a project that I wanted to release later. So I went there, and then I realized, when I left the house, I realized it was way warmer that day. Like, it was really warm yesterday. It was much warmer than I was expecting. I checked the weather in the morning, and it was like, oh, it's like 23 degrees. So I'm like, okay, I'll dress for 23 degrees. And then I like left the house. And I guess it was one of those things where maybe because I checked the weather when I first woke up, but then I didn't leave until a couple hours later. So maybe it's one of those things where just like it warmed up all of a sudden. So I like walked around and I was like sweating. I was sweating. And then I also realized I did not pack any like water bottle or anything. So basically I just like walked for a bit. I like got my footage and then I went back because I was like, yeah, I was ill prepared. I was ill prepared. I had a VTuber dream not 2 nights ago. I was Solid Snake and she hired me as a bodyguard, but like stealthy. And she just kind of wandered a hospital. It was very strange. I got the feelings because she did a Snake Eater cover recently. It's like these two things have like been planted in your brain. This VTuber. And Snake. But yeah, I wouldn't say I was cardio maxing. Like, the amount of walking I do is nothing compared to some other people I know. But... It's closing on the time of year, it's cold in the morning and hot during the day. Well, I think also this week is like... I think this week specifically is also just like the last big warm week of the summer. Because I feel like fall started kind of early. Like, I remember even in like the last week of August, it was a little bit chilly. So... I feel like fall started early, but I feel like sometimes what happens when it gets chilly early is that later you get that 1 week where it just suddenly gets extremely warm, and then it's like fool's autumn. It's like, you know how the people talk about how you have like fool's spring, where it's like, it's warmer for like 1 week in like March, and then it gets cold again? I feel like we're getting like fool's autumn, where it gets like colder for a little bit, and then everybody is like, okay, it's fall now, and then it's like, boom. Warmth. Yeah. Get ready for summer 5 in 2 weeks. Yeah. Sometimes it's like, it'll be like first week of October, and it will just be like, everyone's like, I want to wear a sweater. And then it's like, bam, 27 degrees. And you're like, huh? Yeah, it's dipping again here. Yeah, I think by next week it's supposed to go back down a little bit. But yeah, this week, for whatever reason, is just warmth. It is warmth. Which is fine. It's just that I did not take that into account when I dressed to go out yesterday. It's fine. But, yeah, it will soon be Thanksgiving. Ah! Oh boy. Ah! You could live in the mountains wondering if it's summer or winter each day. Living on the top of a mountain, there's just snow year-round. You're like, I don't know what season it is. Yeah, my building turned off the air conditioning has been pretty warm in my room this week. Oh yeah, when they do it too early. I feel like that probably happened when I was in school as well, where they're like... They turn, like... Because, you know, sometimes, like, the first week of school is warm and sometimes it's cooler. And then they seem to, like, set that as the baseline and then decide the temperature based around that. I mean, maybe plans on how to diet through, or you're just gonna stuff yourself silly. I don't know. Here's the thing, is that I feel like after dieting for several months, I feel like I have somewhat lost the ability to stuff myself silly. Like, that's something I've noticed, is that even in, like, all-you-can-eat situations, I still cannot eat nearly as much as I used to. Which is not a bad thing. But yeah, I think I mean, the other thing too is that I know when Thanksgiving is happening, so I can kind of plan around that too, right? Like, if anything, I think the problem for me is not necessarily stuffing myself silly. It's the fact that, like, if someone is just, like, out of the blue, like, hello, Eggy, are you available tomorrow to go to a buffet? Then I'm like, because, like, then I have to, like, plan, like, I don't have time to, like, plan everything around that, right? So... yeah, I think it's like one of those things where I think I know when Thanksgiving is, and I know more or less what will be served, so I feel like I'm I'm comfortable with it. Like, I can plan around it. If anything, too, like, if it's gonna be anything like last Thanksgiving, I feel like a lot of Thanksgiving foods probably aren't as heavy as I think they are, right? Because, I mean, there are some things that are, like, definitely more calorie dense, right? Like, you know, you got your, like, turkey, and you got your stuffing, which I'm not even that big of a stuffing fan, to be honest. And I guess you eat a lot of bread. And, like, I guess there's desserts, too, like pumpkin pie. But I feel like, at least last year, I feel like half of what was brought to, like, Thanksgiving was just, like, salads. Like, there was, like, a bean salad, and then there was, like, a lot of it is vegetables. It's like, here's salads, and here's some, like, mashed sweet potatoes, and here's some, like, steamed carrots and stuff. And it's like, yeah, it really is just, like, a solid chunk of it is probably not as many calories as I think it is, because a solid chunk of it is just vegetables, right? Yeah. Hormones like ghrelin and co start adjusting, so you can kind of save up for Thanksgiving and other events. Yeah. Or, like, even if I just know, like, a few days in advance, right? Like, if I can, like, you know, if someone's like, hey, Eggy, are you available next weekend to go out for foods? Then I'm like, okay, yeah, that's, like, something I can prepare for, right? It's usually when it's, like, spur of the moment, like, hey, Eggy, would you like to have big hamburger? And I'm like, what? Yeah. Stuffing is a bit weird. Why don't people just make dumplings with the stuffing? It's culinarily almost there. The thing is that, like, in theory, I should like stuffing, because it really is just, like, meat-flavored bread. But, like, I'm not... I don't know. I can't get into it. Maybe my family just wasn't very good at preparing it. Maybe, like, someday I'll go to somebody else's house and, like, have, like, life-changing stuffing at Thanksgiving. But, like, I feel like most of the time when I've had it, it's just kind of bland. I guess it's the kind of thing maybe you're supposed to eat with cranberry sauce. I mean, I like cranberry sauce. I don't know. I've been more of a sweet potatoes person. I'm more, like, outside of... Because, I don't know, my family doesn't really do turkeys anymore. We haven't done turkeys for a couple years, actually. Because the thing is that, like, turkeys are huge, right? So you gotta have a lot of people over, right? So, for my family, if we were just doing it just, like, my immediate family, like, just the four of us, then it's like, yeah, but there's no point in getting a turkey, because that's, like, way too much meat for 4 people. And then, I guess, I don't know, it's a little harder even for, like, the whole family, because a turkey is also a lot of work, right? So it's like, I feel like in recent years we've either gone for a ham or we've gone for, like, a chicken. Yeah, I think one year my mom got a smoked chicken, and that was pretty tasty. So it's like, yeah, it's something that's, like, outside of the usual, you know? It's a little more unusual than just, like, a regular chicken, but it's still tasty. But yeah. That's not my Thanksgiving. It's like, here's jalapeno bacon buttercorn. No, I'm trying to think if there's anything that's, like, truly heavy that we eat at Thanksgiving with my family. I feel like this stuff is, like, relatively light. Like, what was, like I said before, a lot of it is just vegetables, or, like, something vegetable adjacent. Because I'm trying to think of, like, what there was last year. There was, like, obviously, like, ham, I guess. Mashed potatoes, that's pretty standard. Sweet potatoes. I think there was, like, carrots and parsnips kind of thing. Bean salad. Garden salad. There might have been stuffing. Cranberry sauce. And then, like, dessert, so it was, like, pumpkin pie and stuff. Yeah. At Thanksgiving with friends, and we had no prep time, so we just did Cornish chickens, those small ones, one for each of us. Oh, and I guess we have a lot of appetizers too, now that I think of it. We have, like, you know, just typical, like, crackers and cheese and veggies and dip and stuff, right? So I guess, yeah, I guess we have a lot of appetizers. I'm not good with unlimited appetizers. I will eat an entire meal of unlimited appetizers. That's true. That is a problem. But I guess it depends how long they're left out. If you put out the appetizers too early, I will eat all of them. Not even on purpose. I will just eat one at a time, and then I'm like, oops. Oops. Yeah. Like, so leftover Thanksgiving turkey makes good soup. Yeah, yeah. Is a turkey huge? Yes. A turkey is very big. Like, usually a turkey is what you do if you're inviting, like, the whole family, right? Because, like, a turkey can feed a lot of people. But, like, yeah. I don't know how much bigger it is than a chicken. It's gotta be at least double the size of a chicken, right? Like, turkeys are very big. They're big. It's a lot of meat. Yeah, at Thanksgiving with friends, we had no prep time, so we just did Cornish chickens, those small ones, one for each of us. We're also millennials, so we just slept until like 1 p.m. and didn't start cooking until like 4, didn't eat until 9. Yeah, I'm trying to think of like, I don't know, I think we ate at a relatively normal time last year, but yeah. But yeah, that was, either way, I'm mentally prepared. I'm mentally prepared. I know what to expect, I think. Like, unless everybody decides to make something completely different this year, which I kind of doubt, then yeah. Another thing I need to plan for is, like, I don't know, I guess my friend is, like I mentioned before, I have a friend who's getting married next month too. But I also don't know what her, like, I don't know what she's planning to eat. I don't know what she's planning to eat and how much of it will be served, but I guess I'll cross that bridge when I get there. I know that it's happening, right? I know that it's happening. It's okay. October will be a slower month for weight loss, probably. Because, like, this month, I don't know. I'm trying to, like, lock back in. Because I feel like June, July, I did quite a bit. I had good results. And then August, I think I did not do as well, but that's because I kept doing fun things. Fun things just kept happening, and that's why I didn't lose as much weight in August. But now it's September, and it's like a lock-in month, so I'm trying to lock back in, and that way, because I know next month is not a lock-in month. Next month is a treats month. But then November will be a lock-in month, I think. Especially if I'm not working. Well, I don't know. It's hard to say. And December will be treats month, as usual. But, like, I don't know, the first few weeks of December don't necessarily have to be. Yeah. I've officially retired from the Thanksgiving. Back in the day, I used to pack away the food. I actually brought maternity pants that stretched a lot, so I was comfy eating 10 pounds of food, my food baby. I don't think I could even do that in the first place. I'm not known to be big eater, I don't think. Maybe I'm big snacker, but, like, I have never been, like, eat a lot in one meal. I've not been big eater. Yeah, semi-lock-in and still track everything. Well, I don't know, that's the thing, is that, like, I feel like it's, like, it's kind of, it's lock-in is, like, it's a very binary thing. I'm either locked in or I'm not. Because, like, semi-lock-in is what I did in August. And, like, I didn't gain any weight in August, but, like, I didn't lose nearly as much. I lost, like, half as much weight as I did in July. But, I mean, again, that's okay. Progress is progress. There's not like a deadline for this, so yeah. You can lock into tracking everything. I'm already tracking everything. Please do not assume that I am not doing the things that I am doing. It's not because I stopped tracking. It's because it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if I track it. I still ate it regardless. Like, you know, usually like, again, on days where I would go over my allotted calorie limit, it's because I was, like, doing something fun, right? Like, I was out with friends, or I was, like, you know, there was, like, a long stretch of time where I was out of the house. Hello, friend. Hello, Bebe. On YouTube, I'm assuming? Yeah. I don't see you in Twitch, so yes. This is on YouTube. Yeah. So it's like, usually it's like I was away from the house and did not bring food with me, so I ate McDonald's or something, right? Like it's something like that. That's usually where a lot of it came from. Which again isn't a bad thing because it means that I was touching grass, but, like, you know, grass is calories. Yeah, it's good that you're moving your body to keep in shape even if weight loss is minimal. Yeah, yeah. I feel more muscular. I want to do more dances lately. Like, maybe not anything complicated because I don't think I'm not more coordinated than I used to be. But I think if I went back and did like the set that I did for Oshi Kombini, if I did it again now, I think I would do much better. I think I would do it much better because I think I get like out of breath less easily. Do you enter the exercise calories too? Yes. I don't know, because like the calorie counting app I have, I don't think it's possible to really like accurately know how many calories you're burning from a workout. So usually I just put in like, they have a few settings. So it's like, okay, yeah, I did like elliptical machine on medium for 25 minutes or something like that. So I don't know if they're totally accurate, but yeah, I put those into. But yeah, no, I think I would do better. I would perform better if I was doing it again. If I had to do it again, like in my current condition. I mean, by the time I'm done, I think that dress that I wore, I would probably have to get it like altered because I think it would probably be way too big, or I'd have to just straight up order a second one. I don't know. Maybe there are probably like multiple dresses I could use. If I buy a dress that's like all white, I imagine I could make that work. But yeah. Need to go back to the gym even though leg hasn't healed after 3 months. I mean, you can do things with the rest of your body, right? Like, I'm sure there's exercises you can do with your arms or your upper body. Like, isn't a lot of weightlifting just like done lying down on your back? I mean, I guess your legs are involved because they are still on the floor, but any cardio bad? I don't know, there's probably like cardio for your upper body. I don't know, I don't see these a lot, probably because they weren't very popular, but like I remember when I was a kid, the gym that like my parents would take me to had this like machine that was essentially, it was like a stationary bike but for your arms. Like instead of putting your feet and pedaling, you would like grab these things and like just turn this thing in a circle. It wasn't very popular, I don't think. And they only had one of them. But I'm like, okay, yeah. I mean, I guess that's something. It's something. Yeah, the punch machine. Is that what it's called? I don't know. I never know what any of these things are called. I just know how to describe them. Aside from like a treadmill and maybe a stationary bike, like everything else I just go by description. It's a not sure the name, but I know what you're talking about. Okay, yeah, like because I've never seen it again. I've never seen it at any other gym except for like the one YMCA I went to when I was 12. Like that's the only place I've ever seen it. But like they had to buy the machine from somewhere, so like surely somebody else must have it somewhere. Like yeah. I think yeah. Cuz like I don't know, the gym I go to now doesn't have it. I don't think or they have something similar, but like it's not, I tried it and it's not as good. So yeah. I'm doing a stationary bike class. I've never been more tired in all my life. Yeah, again, stationary bike is like, I do it the lazy way. Where I use it as like a cool down almost after, because elliptical I consider like the real workout. Whereas like the stationary bike is just like, the thing I do to like, you know, move my legs while I scroll on my phone. I don't go intense with it. Some people do. I am not one of those people. Yeah. Ugh. Okay. Sorry, my eye was like itchy. But then I'm wearing my glasses and I'm trying to like rub my eye without taking off my glasses, and I'm like, this was a mistake. Yeah, this is wild. it was like, okay, stand up and pedal, and it had like a light and laser show and blasting techno. Oh, it's one of those. It's one of those. I've heard about those. I would not go to one, I don't think. I already go to Aquafit, where they don't have to spray us with water because we're already covered in it. Yeah, elliptical is basically where you walk without lifting your legs off the ground. Yeah, elliptical is like, yeah, it's like there's like these like 2 footholds that are inside these things that are like swinging back and forth. So you like basically, it's almost like it's kind of probably a similar motion to like cross-country skiing almost. Where you're like, your legs are moving. It's like you're walking, but like you're not. Yeah, it's not the Stairmaster. My gym has Stairmasters. I haven't used them. They're very tall, and I'm scared if I fall off, I'm gonna like fall like 5 feet. But yeah, elliptical is like the joint-safe version of a treadmill. Exactly, exactly. I prefer it too because I feel like in an elliptical machine you can like speed up and slow down kind of at will. Because I know the thing is, like, with a treadmill, sometimes, like, you turn it up, and then you accidentally turn it up too high, and you're like, oh god, oh god, oh god, oh god, I'm gonna get, like, shot backwards, like, when your Uma Musume fails speed training. And then, yeah, so usually I prefer elliptical. Yeah, I wouldn't have gone if it wasn't free. We went there for a fire alarm back when I was a firefighter, and the owner was like, thank you for coming, here's a voucher for a free class, and we went as a crew. I didn't have much of a choice. I mean, at least you didn't have to pay for it. Do you lift? Not really. Sometimes I'll use, like, those machines. I don't lift directly. You know those machines that are just, like, meant to train a specific part of the body? And you're supposed to, like, push, like, or pull something. And it's like indirect weightlifting, I guess. I use those occasionally. The problem is that like my gym only has like 1 of each. So half the time my thing is just like, okay, if I approach one and somebody else is already on it, I just don't use it that day. I'm not gonna stand around and like wait for the one guy to finish his workout, you know? Especially if I'm there in like a busy time of day. I'm like, you know what? If it's free, it's free. If it's not, it's not. And I just like, I'm not gonna bother. It's not that important to me. Yeah, if you don't do progressive overload without men levels of testosterone, you won't like get visible muscles anyway. Again, I mean, yeah. 515 deadlift, 350 bench rep, life just hurts. Big muscles. No, I have no ambition to have big muscles. I am not. Yeah, lifting is more efficient, I guess. But yeah, no. I feel like if I'm going for pure calorie burning, I feel like cardio is probably the better option, right? If I want to make my cardio more difficult, I will simply turn up the resistance. My phone is going off. It's going zzz, zzz. Zzz, zzz. It's emails that are all just ads. They're all just promotions. Oi, hello Breadft. But yeah, no. Yeah. I will start with simply losing weight, and then after that I will worry about muscles. Because I feel like I have had visible muscles at some point in my life. I think at some point in like it was 2019. In 2019, maybe going into early 2020. Sorry, going into early 2020, EGGY with abs was real. I had like they weren't like washboard abs, but they were like visible. They were like, I had like visible abs. And then I lost them. Because I stopped exercising during COVID. But yeah, EGGY with abs was real. For like maybe 5 or 6 month span there. EGGY with abs. But I think it was a mix of things, because it wasn't just like EGGY with abs because big strong muscle. I think it was also because like I was also pretty skinny at the time. So it's probably just two that was like, yeah, the abs weren't like that prominent. It's just that they're... Oh, hello, Sheriff Pumpkin. Thank you for sprouting. Yeah, it's probably that they weren't that prominent. It's just that, like, they were, like, I was skinny enough that, like, there wasn't a lot of fat on top to show. So, yeah, low enough body fat plus regular abs. That was pretty much what it was, yeah. I was very bitter in school. All the skinny boys doing the lighter weights got all the visible muscles, but I was offensive lineman that was very large. I could lift twice their weight, but you couldn't tell from a look. Ah, yes, the tank proportions. Toned, yeah. So yeah, Eggy with abs was real. Maybe she'll be real someday again, but it's gonna take a while. I don't know, I feel like sometimes my midsection feels stronger. Oh, and thank you, Sheriff Pumpkin, for sprouting again, presumably once on Twitch and once on YouTube. Thank you. Yeah, like, I don't know, I feel like maybe I might have slightly more defined ab muscles, but the body fat amount is much higher, so they're all covered. They'll be there eventually. One day, Eggy with abs. Eggy with abs. I don't know, abs is interesting because I feel like it's like the one muscle you have to like train on purpose. Because like, I don't know, if you walk around a lot, you can get strong legs, right? And if you lift a bunch of heavy things, like if you have a job that involves carrying things a lot, you can get strong arms. But like, I feel like abs is like, you gotta do that on purpose. Like, you can only get abs by training abs, because I feel like most of the time, like, most of the kinds of exercise that you would get in your regular life just by doing things will not, like, cause you to have abs. You have to, like, go out of your way to train your abs. I will never see abs in my life. I promise, they're in there. There is abdominal muscles. But, yeah, one day. Just gotta grip the ring fit during off time. No, I don't know. Sometimes I will do a few sit-ups. Again, it's not... I'm like 20 pounds away from even thinking about this. You know? Using the muscles to train the stomach muscles and the back muscles in a balanced fashion if you set a lot to counteract shrimping. Again, I would use them if they were ever available at the gym instead of having... I don't know. I swear my gym is full of people who, like... use a machine for 5 minutes and then continue sitting on it 15 minutes. Sitting and doing nothing on the abs machine for 15 minutes is part of the routine. I don't know. Like, yo, hello, some rat dude. Yeah, in my gym there was a rule about 3 minutes. Yeah, again, sitting. Yeah, some people will just, I'm like, I don't know if there's just like not enough chairs or something. Like, I'm like, if you need to just like sit and check something on your phone, maybe the machine that like 3 other people are waiting for is not the best place to do that. But yeah, 2026 new era of Eggy, be assertive. I know, I know. I don't know. What is goals for 2026? I guess if I get employed or get educated, I guess. I'm gonna have to probably, I don't know. I've mentioned this before. Good morning, Eggy. Hello, Shinix. I mentioned this before, but I'm like, I might go back to school for a 3rd time. One more diploma, bro. It'll work this time. Just one more diploma. One more 1 to 2 year program. One more diploma, bro. Just one more. But yeah, because like, I don't know. I think we were talking about this last stream. One more diploma. This will work for sure. If you go back to school, will you study abroad again? No. I think if I go back to school, it'll be for something... I'm looking for a program that will, like, find me a job, but that will be able to do so in, like, the least amount of time possible. Oi, hello, Bredft. Again. Yeah. Probably would just be, like, 2-year program at the max. Trust me, education business. Just 1 more year of school. The Canadian universities and colleges are bleeding me dry. No, it would be financially, it'd be very doable. But yeah, I think. Take the poll, oh, decide to import that job to suppress wages. No, what I'm looking at is stuff that would, like... I doubt they're... What I'm saying is I doubt they're going to be importing, like, paralegals, is what I'm saying. Or, like, law clerks. Financially very doable. Well, no, because, okay. So, I remember it was actually my mom who brought up the suggestion of, like, have you tried going back to school? And it was because I was like, oh, okay. I guess... Because she mentioned that there's still money left over in my, like, college fund. But paralegal doesn't transfer between countries. Well, where's my face is frozen. Oh, there we go. Yeah, backpedal now. Well, no, it's also, like, it's a combination of things. I think I would also apply for, because the province does have, like, grants and stuff for if you're going back to school, and I think because I'm no longer listed as a dependent for my parents, and because I'm over a certain age, I think I might actually get more money from that. Yeah, paralegal doesn't transfer between countries. Does anything, though? I feel like a lot of qualifications don't. But yeah, like, I don't think, I don't... Again, there's not any job that I think they cannot decide to import. that if I go about thinking that way, I'm just never going to do anything, is the thing. Medical doctor and IT probably transfers. LMAO, this guy thinks medical doctor transfers. He thinks this medical doctor transfers. That's actually been an issue, specifically in my country, because medical doctor does not transfer here. It's actually been kind of an issue. Like, because basically, medical licenses from certain countries transfer here, but for many countries they don't. So there's actually been an issue where, because there's not really any kind of, there's no, like, process for, like, if you got your medical degree or your medical license in another country, there's no, like, test or anything that you can take to, like, well, they need to take the exam again, then. No, here's the thing. There's no process. There's no process for doing that here, except for making all of these people redo medical school. That's been actually an issue. It's actually been an issue of, like, people with, like, medical qualifications from other countries that Canada doesn't recognize, and they have no way of regaining those qualifications to practice medicine aside from just doing it all over again. It's kind of dumb. There's as far as I know, there's no process. There's a global list of accredited medical degrees that transfer. Yes, but, like, yeah, I've heard of that when I saw Telehealth Doctor a long time ago. Yeah. There was one, I had a coworker once who her dad was in that position where he actually became a veterinarian because he immigrated from a country where I guess the medical license that he had there was not recognized in Canada. So basically, yeah, he wanted to continue doing medicine of some kind, but he couldn't actually, like, he didn't want to, like, go back and redo medical school in Canada, right? So yeah, he ended up becoming a veterinarian because I guess transferable knowledge, and he was able to finish school for that. But yeah, there's a lot of people who were, like, doctors where they lived before, but then they moved here and then they had to go into, like, nursing or, like, medical administration or something because their like credentials didn't, like, they don't transfer over here. But veterinarian is more complicated? Well, if you're starting from scratch. If you already have... I also think that it's possible that veterinarian qualifications might transfer between countries more easily. I'm not sure how it works for that. But she mentioned that that's why he became a veterinarian. He's not, like, a super, like, animal lover. It's just that, like, he was practicing medicine and he can't do that here. Yeah. So... But yeah, it actually has been an issue because we actually do have a shortage of doctors, but we don't really have a process for, like, allowing people to, like, prove their credentials. Because I guess the logic is just that, like, maybe the standards are different in different places. And we want to make sure that these people, like, you know, we want to make sure that people who practice medicine here are, like, conforming to, like, the standards we have here. But, like, they might if you just don't know, you know? Yeah. I guess I think they're working on that. Yeah, I mean, I hope they are because, like, my family doctor is in a different city because I never found one and stuff. Because, like, nursing is, like, a much shorter degree, and I guess They don't want to have to go through like 8 years of medical school again, which is understandable. But yeah. I don't know. I'm trying. I think I need to stop overthinking is the thing. I need to stop overthinking what I want to do, which means I need to stop talking about it on stream. I feel like every time I discuss it on stream, with all due respect, every time I discuss, like, I'm like, what job should I do? I get, like, 8,000 people, which is peculiar because there's only usually, like, 30 people in chat. I get, like, a bajillion people, yeah. The thing is I think I need to just do something, is the thing. Because if I try to, like, again, strategize for, like, every possible outcome, I'm just never going to do anything. Like... this has been a repeated problem for me, where I strategize about every possible, you know, try to strategize for every possible outcome, and then I just get nothing done. So that's something I need to work on, is actually doing things. Get the job you can until you get the job you want. Yeah. But the reason, I don't know, I was thinking of, like, law clerk, because I was thinking it over. I looked into, like, some of the IT things that you guys brought up last time. And I, like, looked into it, and I'm like, but yeah, no, I was looking into, like, law clerk or paralegal because I'm like, I don't know. Law seems like a very, like, actually field. But I don't know. I don't think I'm cut out to be an actual lawyer, but, like, I don't know. It is pretty, actually. And I guess it's not, like, I don't know. It might not, the qualifications might not carry between countries or even between, like, provinces, right? But, like, it's not like, you know, maybe talk to paralegals first. I think, like, a solid chunk of my dad's side of the family works in law. There are multiple people on the side of the family who are either lawyers or who are, like, paralegals or law assistants or, like... It's one of those things where it's, like, I was under the impression that lawyers are a thing people kind of always need. Like, law firms are a thing that kind of always is gonna exist because, you know, it's like the same way that teachers, right? Me when I think too much but not enough doing. Would they tell you the truth, though? They have no reason to lie to me. That's why I know that I don't want to be an actual lawyer. Because I hear about the things they talk about, and I'm like, no, I'm good. I'm good. But yeah, this is exactly what I'm talking about. I can't be thinking too much because then I don't do anything. I don't do anything. Like, I don't know. It's the same thing with VTubing and the other things too, where it's like I think too much and I plan too much and then I never actually do anything. Why don't you do anything? Because I'm too busy thinking and planning. Well, I guess it's one of those things where it's like, I need to remember that, like, as long as I'm alive, I can always do more things. Because I think, I don't know, I guess I have an idea in my mind that, like, it's like if you were, like, shooting an arrow and you were told you have to hit the target with one arrow. You would probably spend a lot of time, like, trying to perfectly position and aim yourself and, like, you know, to make sure that you could get it in one shot because one arrow is all you have. So the thing is that, like, you have more than one arrow. Like, you have more than one chance. You don't have unlimited chances, but, like, you have more than one chance. I've done archery for years. I hit it first try, bad analogy. If I was given one arrow, I would simply fire it and hit the target. Skill issue. But yeah, you know, it's like you have more than one chance to do things. You don't have unlimited chances, but you have more than one chance, right? So I guess it's the idea of, like, I need to get this all in one go. I need to get it right the first time. Because I already didn't get it right the first time. Like, maybe consider that ADHD assessment. Here's the thing, I've already been assessed. I've already been assessed. I've already been diagnosed. The problem was actually the next step. The problem was the next step. It's not about assessment. I already know. Yeah, I guess it's opportunity cost. Yeah, it's like, if you needed money stat and no one give it to you, what would you do, like, tomorrow? Well, that's the thing, is that, like, I am not the only factor here. Like, it's not like I don't want to work, or that I can't decide what I want to do. It's also that, like... Because, like, I don't know, I've been trying to apply for, like, part-time things, too, because I know around the holidays, usually a lot of, like, places are hiring seasonally. But, like, I haven't heard back from any of them! Cool. Just be understaffed for Christmas. I have many years of retail experience, but I guess you will ignore all of them. You will ignore all of them. To get your meds in. Yeah, it was... Because, yeah, the thing is, like... I don't know. I feel... I don't know how to go about asking for that. Because I know the answer is just, have you tried just going to the doctor? And the answer is that I did, and the doctor was like, no. I don't know. Basically, when I went to see my family doctor about it after I got my assessment done, she kind of was just like, it was like, here is like the papers that the psychiatrist told me to show you, and then I showed them to her. And then she's like, well, I think the psychiatrist is incorrect. And I'm like, okay. And then she just kind of like, sort of implied that I was doing this to chase after drugs, which is, like, I didn't even really drink. I didn't even drink at the time. I didn't even drink alcohol. Get another family doctor. You ignored the entire part of the conversation where I said there's not enough doctors. I haven't found another family doctor here. I've gone to a clinic a couple times, but, like, that's not, like, a family doctor. That's just, like, a walk-in clinic, right? That's where you go because you're like, I need a prescription for, like, one thing, right? Yeah. ADHD assessments around here seem to mostly be based on vibes. I don't know. I feel like mine was pretty thorough. It was pretty thorough. I did it because, like, I had it covered by my, like, school's health insurance. Mine felt pretty thorough, though. Because it was, like, there was, like, 2 parts to it, right? There was, like, so there was, like, multiple tests I had to take. And then they also had things that, like, I had to have, like, my mom... They were, like... They said it doesn't have to be your parents, but, like, somebody who's been kind of with you for your whole life. So there was, like, a questionnaire my mom had to fill out as well. Yeah. So... Yeah, it was pretty thorough. It was pretty thorough. I didn't think it was, like, vibes-based. Like, the fact that, like, people can... I don't know. Maybe I've just never had, like, a really, really good family doctor... Because, like, I don't know, I guess the doctors I had as a kid were fine. It's just that, like, I would always go in with my mom, so, because I was a child. So, and then by the time I was old enough to, like, go into the doctor by myself, I had, like, doctor who sucks. So, yeah, sometimes doctors are a bit strange. I don't know, my doctor has, I once out of curiosity, I looked up on, like, those, like, physician review sites, and she has terrible reviews. And a lot of people are complaining about the same things that I did. So I think, I mean, I'm glad to know it's not just a me problem. But unfortunately, it's good luck finding another family doctor, right? So, yeah. Like, I remember the first time I went to see her, I was in high school. And I went in for something, I've definitely told this story on stream before, but for those who haven't heard it, I went in for something, like, totally unrelated. Like, I had, like, a fever or something. And I went in, and at the end of the appointment, she was like, oh, by the way, would you be interested in getting a prescription for acne medication? And I was just, like, sitting there, I'm like, no, I'm good. And I was just like, okay, I know I've been sick for a couple days, but I can't possibly look that bad, right? Like, completely unprompted, too. Completely unprompted. And it's not even, like, one of those things, because I don't know, I don't think Canada has, like, the same deal that the US has, where it's, like, doctors are, like, paid more if they, like, push certain medications. I don't think... I don't think that's quite the case. I don't think Canada has that to, like, the same degree that the States is. Not to the point that you would ask unprompted. Because it was completely unprompted, too. That was the other thing that I was just like, huh? About? Because I'm like, okay, I don't think I'm, like, that bad. The doctor edition of would you like fries with that? I don't know, because, like, I've never been asked about... Because eventually, I think later I did... Oh, hello, Rydia Green. Thank you for sprouting. I think later I did go on. I did take like a topical acne medication a few years later, which ended up working pretty decently. But like, I don't know. At the time, my acne, like even looking back at photos, I'm like my skin was not that bad. What was she on about? Canada probably has that issue too, just indirectly. I'm not going to prescribe you drugs that this licensed doctor expert said, but do try some other drugs that aren't related instead. But yeah, it was just like, yeah. You know, in America, from what I've been told, if a woman has an issue here, the doctor will be like, well, would you like some birth control? Well, actually, birth control is used for a lot of stuff, actually. Like, basically anything, like anything reproductive system related, if there's a problem with it, that's like the first thing they try. Like... But yeah, so that was my first experience with that doctor, and it did not get any better. It did not get any better. Like, I don't know, it was just very much like, it felt every time I was at an appointment that like, even if you were within like 10 minutes of the appointment, it's like if your appointment was longer than 10 minutes, like, if you had more than, like, 10 minutes worth of stuff to talk about, then she would just act like you were taking too long, and it's like, are you done yet? Kind of vibes. I don't know, I had other people, like, I saw other reviews that said that, like, she was very dismissive of, like, mental health stuff, which has also been my experience, so I'm glad to know that that wasn't just me. But, yeah. Yeah, they only get paid for, like, 10 minutes. Yeah, but, like, they also showed up. I feel like this has been, like, a universal experience of, like, the doctors only get paid for 10 minutes, but they also show up, like, 15 minutes late. I don't think I've ever had a doctor's appointment that, like, started at the time that it said it would. I think there's been a time where, like, I've been... Okay, you go to the doctor's office, you're in the waiting room, right? And then, like, you know, if your appointment's for, say, like, 2 p.m., right? It'll be, like, 2 p.m., and, like, a nurse will come by and be like, okay, Eggy, it's your turn for your appointment. And then they take you in, and then they, like, do a few, like, blood pressure and stuff, right? And then they leave you. And there's been time, and then, like, they leave you in the room, and then you wait for the doctor to come. And there's been times where I've been waiting for, like, 40 minutes. Like, between when the nurse does the vitals and when the doctor shows up, it'll be, like, 40 minutes. Like, there's no way you can't schedule around this, right? I mean, I guess if you see more patients, you get paid more. So I guess there's, like, an incentive to try to, like, squeeze in as many people as you can per day. But, like, in my mind, I'm like, surely there's got to be a way to, like, factor in some kind of, like... I don't know if rubber banding is the right term here, but, like, there's got to be, like, some way to be like, okay, we're going to run with the assumption that certain patients are going to take longer and certain patients are going to take less time, right? Like, surely there's got to be, like, some kind of way to... plan for that, right? Right? Unless it's one of those things where it's like you just have like one guy who goes like 3 times the amount of time you think he's going to at the beginning of the day, and it just like dominoes over the rest of the day. Maybe it's one of those things, but like, yeah. Documentation probably eats a lot of the time too. I mean, maybe, but like that's a thing you can plan for, right? But yeah, no, it might be like a thing of, yeah, like the first person to come in just like took like an entire hour for something that you thought was going to take like 10 minutes. You're not paid to care. I mean, yeah, but like you are paid to at least answer my question with something understandable, right? Charting is like 90% of a doctor or so, my doctor friend tells me. No, that sounds plausible. That sounds plausible. But, like, I feel like... I don't know. Does my doctor even take notes of anything I say? Like, because I've actually had this issue. Well, it's not even an issue. But, like, okay. Sometimes when I've applied for things, when there's been anything where there's like a health checkup, because I had to do some of these for like when I went to Japan and stuff, and sometimes they will be like, do you have any medical conditions? And I have to like think for a moment because I'm like, okay, technically I've been diagnosed with ADHD, but my doctor did not agree with the assessment. Did she even write it down? Like if you look through my like medical records that she has, is it even there? Is it like I never know because again, I was never ever really able to follow up on it. It's like the psychologist counts, yeah, I guess, and I still do have the documents somewhere. But it's like, did she even make a note of it? If I go and ask my doctor, like, hey, I need you to fill out this form. If I say I have no medical conditions, will she say no? You had this one diagnosis, or if I say I have something, but do I just put down like, yeah, mild version of this condition. Nothing was ever done about it ever, ever. So I'm like, which way do you go with that? You know? Yeah. Hello, ma'am. Can I talk? I sure hope you can. Yes. Yeah, remember to make your own documentation copy so you also have a reference in case. Yeah, I think I still, because they emailed me my own documents, so I probably have the final report somewhere that the psychiatrist made, but yeah. Because like I don't know how it works, but I think the person who diagnosed me, like psychiatrists, I think they can recommend medications, but you have to go through your doctor to get them prescribed because the psychiatrist can like recommend things of like, we think this would work for you, but like you have to go through your doctor because the doctor will know stuff about like the side effects and stuff and can be like, yeah, we're because like, I don't know. Question for people who take ADHD medications. Did you have to get blood tests done before? Like, because I know that was something my doctor had said. Is like, oh yeah, because some of them can have like cardiovascular side effects. You have to like do blood tests and stuff. Like, is that normal? Or was my doctor just making stuff up? Because I feel like I know other people who are on them that I'm assuming have never had these tests. But then again, I've also never gotten blood work done, so... I realized recently I don't even know my blood type. Like, I think I talked about this the other day, but like... Specifically, I'm like, I don't know my blood type because I've never had to do blood tests. Like, I've never needed blood work for anything. Which is weird because somehow everybody else I've talked to ever has had to have it done. But I guess there's like genetically, I guess maybe there's no like blood related illnesses that run in my family, and I've never had any. You've never had blood drawn? Never. Not even once. You could donate some blood and find out. Honestly, I have nothing better to do. I might do that someday. Because it was weird. Out of all things, I was playing Shibuya Scramble, and there was like a plot line where like a character's blood type was like a relevant plot point. And then I had the thought, I'm like, yeah, what is my blood type? I don't actually know my blood type. I don't know my blood type either. I asked once to some doctor and they said it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter? I don't know. That feels like relevant information, though. I mean, I guess if I was like suddenly going into like surgery, I guess if I was like suddenly going into surgery where like blood was necessary, I imagine in the moment they could probably do some kind of test to find out like what blood I have. But if it's an emergency, you get O negative. Yeah, before they give blood, they will test. Yeah, that's what I figured. They probably have like some way in the moment to figure out what blood type is, but like it would be nice to know ahead of time, probably. But yeah, I guess I could donate blood. Because, like, I know in high school, there was, like, a blood drive that they ran. And I was old enough to do it, but I didn't weigh enough at the time. I think I was, like, slightly under the recommended weight for drawing blood. So I didn't do it. But I'm like, I don't know. I have more than enough weight now. I could probably do it. I could probably go and do it. But yeah. But yeah, I've never had it blood drawn. I mean, it doesn't hurt, right? Does it hurt? I know some people I've seen, do they give the sweets or some juice when doing donation drives? They do. They do. I think they have to, because I think people would probably be, like, passing out afterwards if they didn't. Do you know about the different blood types, though? I know there are different ones. But yeah. Needles, they hurt, but it's not, like, the worst. Yeah, because I figured, like, does drawing blood hurt? Because I know some people... I've heard of people, like, getting uncomfortable or, like, passing out when they see, like, the blood leaving their body. Because it's not, like, a ton of blood, right? Like, they're not, like, taking enough blood to, like, kill you, right? They're just taking, you know, a small amount of blood. Or, like, a medium amount of blood, right? But, like, it's not, like, painful, right? Again, I've never had blood drawn. I've had needles. And I've had, like, I don't know if it was an IV. I don't think it was quite an IV. When I had my wisdom teeth removed, I was, like, they put me under. And I think that was technically an IV? Like, I had needles in my hand. Maybe not my hand. There was needles in some part of my body. But... Okay, so it only hurts if the blood tech sucks at their job. Okay. Good to know. I hope if I do it that I get a good one. Yeah, they take a surprising amount if you've ever had it done. Like 4 or 5 vials worth, but nothing like a grown-up can't handle. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, they're not taking, like, enough to make you pass out, or, like, enough to kill you, right? Like, your body will make more blood, it's fine. Yeah. Needles don't hurt that much if the tech knows what they're doing. I don't know. Needles hurt. I don't know. I'm trying to think, because, like, I'm trying to remember the needles that I've had in, like, recent memory, because they were all, like, COVID shots, I think. I think my first COVID shot didn't hurt as much as I thought it would. Because I had 3. I had 3. 3? Yeah, I had 3. Because I think I got one in, like, 2021. In 2021, sorry. When they first released them. Yeah, I think it was, like, June 2021. Then I had another one a few months later. And then I think I got another one in 2022 before I went to Japan. Because I think for Japan, they were asking to enter the country, you needed, like, 3 of them. So I went and got another one in 2022. And I remember, like, the first 2 were fine. The second one especially. The first one hurt a bit. The second one did not hurt at all. Like, I don't know what kind of magic that specific nurse was working, but... And then the third one hurt a lot. The third one hurt a lot. But again, I think that was just, like... I don't know. Whoever was administering it was less experienced. I recommend not looking unless you're not squeamish. I feel when the needle pokes when it doesn't necessarily hurt. Yeah. Again, I'm trying to remember, because, like... I just remember the third one hurt. The third one hurt. I have the Chinese veins known to me, and I tell the doctor and nurse I have the small veins, use my hand, and every single time they're like, I'm built different, I don't get it. And 6 attempts later, they were like, you weren't kidding. You just need to get, like, a doctor's note that's just like, this guy has teeny tiny veins. I thought we were talking about tattooed needles for a second. No. Needles for medical reasons. I don't know. I don't think I would get a tattoo. Because, like, I can't think of even... Well, A, because I want to be able to, like, use onsens. I liked going to onsens and public baths and stuff in Japan. So I want to be able to continue doing that. So it's a dumb reason, but I wouldn't get a tattoo for that reason. But also, like, I can't think of anything I would want on my body, like, forever. Like, I can't think of... I can barely decide on a haircut, and my hair will grow out, you know? It's like, how am I supposed to decide on something that, like, that permanent, right? I just got my flu shot 10 minutes ago. I deserve a reward. Yay! Have an ice queen. have a nice queen. You get some temporary tattoos. They're pretty good inks for that. Yeah, but I can't even think of anything I would want, like, temporarily. What are the bathrooms like in Japan? Some of them are clean and fancy, but a lot of them are just normal. It depends where you go. But... yeah. I don't know. I don't know. I don't think needles are that scary. They're like medium scary. Like, I guess they're a bit scary, but it's like one of those things where you're like, okay, this is scary, but like, this is not harmful, right? The tyranny of temporary tattoo choice. Well, it's like even something for a few months feels like I'm like, that's too much choice. Because it's like, what can I think of? I don't know. I'm trying to think of like, what would I even tattoo on my body? If someone's like, get a tattoo now. Like, I don't even know what I would put there. Like, I guess you can put like, because some people I guess will tattoo like names of family members, but like, I don't think my parents need me to tattoo their names on my body to like know that I love and appreciate them. And then, I don't know, I've seen some people who get like names of like, you know, boyfriends, girlfriends, regular friends, they get that tattooed on their body, but then it's like they like divorce or break up and then it gets really awkward. The word tattoo. I don't know, maybe because like even for things you like I've seen people get stuff from like, you know, things they were interested in at the time and they regret it later. So I'm like, I don't know. I can't think of much that would like remain permanently uncontroversial and that I would permanently like. Like, I don't know, maybe like a teeny tiny Hello Kitty. That's like the best I can think of, though. I'm like, yeah, that would remain uncontroversial forever, probably. Yeah. I remember when I was a child, I was terrified of needles and I was on a fast for the test, so I was extra messed up. It took like 4 doctors and my dad to hold me down for the blood test because I was a big child. 4 doctors. Do they not have like... I've seen like... I know that there's some places that have like specific processes for like patients that are like known to be scared enough of needles that it will cause problems. Like, isn't there usually specific procedures for that other than just restrain the child? Tattoo your name so you never forget it. I don't know, what if I change my name? What if I have to change my name to something else later? What was awesome Yakuza back tattoos? Yeah, if I want to never bathe in an onsen again. Oh, the eyebrow tattoos? Oh, like the microblading? Oh, see, here's the thing is, that's also a bad idea because, the trends of eyebrow shapes change. I knew a lot of people back in, like, 2016, 2017 who got, like, eyebrow tattoos done, and I don't know how many of them still have them. Because the thing with eyebrow tattoos is that, like, unless you have very thin, very, very sparse eyebrows, like, eventually they're gonna look very outdated in a couple years when the trends change, right? It's like the opposite. It's like how, like, I remember around the time when thick brows were really in, how, like, a lot of women who were, like, you know, alive in, like, the early 2000s when, like, super thin brows were in, were having issues because they're like, oh, I like, overplucked my brows and now they don't grow back. And then you now have, like, people from, like, 10 years ago who got eyebrow tattoos done and they're like, oh, no. Now I'm stuck with these very thick eyebrows that don't, you know, conform to the trends anymore. Yeah, remember when Hello Kitty exploded the moon? Well, yeah, because I'm just like, I don't... like, I've seen many people who have, like, gotten tattoos of things they were interested in at the time, and then later it became, like, a controversial thing, and you're like, oh god, I don't know if I want this on my body anymore, but now I'm stuck with it. You know? You never know. You never know what's about to become, like, something either contentious or just something you're not interested in anymore, you know? But yeah, Harry Potter tattoo people. Yeah, I think that's like the most common example, but I've definitely seen it with other things too. Like, yeah. I feel like even getting like something like, I don't know, the flag of your country or something is like always has the possibility to become a problem in the future, you know? So yeah, that's why I'm just like, I just can't bring myself to like put anything. I don't think I would ever get a tattoo because I'm like, I can't bring myself to put anything there permanently. Forever. Forever. Miku would never betray me. Miku tattoo. Okay, that's fair. That's fair. That's fair. But I don't know. Just an egg tattoo, but it's just like an oval. Just an oval. The tattoo artist is like, you sure? You sure? Sure about that one? Hello, still Sackman. Hello. But yeah. 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 I don't know. I'm not a piercings person either. I have my ears pierced, but like, I don't think I would go for a second piercing because I have no idea where I don't even know what I would want. The only piercing I've ever considered is like a second ear piercing, but even then, because the thing is with piercings, right, is that like, if you have them in, right, it's like, okay, it looks cool. You are full of metal, and then if you have to take them out, like, if you have to take them out, then like, you're just full of holes now. And I don't know. I don't know if I want to be full of holes. I think I have enough holes. I have enough holes. You know, I don't need any more holes. Piercing plus MRI is fun. Oh yeah, like that's like a whole thing you have to think about. Yeah, because it's like full of holes is a fun way to put it. Yeah, because that's like one of those things where it's like when the piercings are in, it looks cool, but then it's like when you have to take, if you're in a situation where you have to take them out, then yeah, full of holes. I don't know. I guess it's just like for people who get piercings, they're just aware that it just like comes off, like, you know, it just comes with the territory, right? You already have thousands of holes on your skin. What's one more? Yeah, but those holes are tiny. Those holes are tiny. Yeah. I guess earrings are fine. Yeah, I have, my ears are already pierced. I've had them pierced since I was like grade 1, I think. I don't know. I saw another girl in my class who had her ears pierced, and I thought that was like the coolest thing ever. So yeah, I've had my ears pierced since I was like very little. But, yeah, everything else, like, yeah, I don't think I would get a second one. I don't even know if I considered it for like 2 seconds once, and I was like, very bottom of the list of priorities. Yeah. Technically, we're always full of holes. I mean, yeah, but there's holes that like you're born with, and then there's holes that you like get later, I guess. I think I'm happy with the number of holes I have right now, though. Yeah, piercings just sound like a hassle. I mean, a little bit. I mean, getting them done is one thing because it's like, you know, you gotta be careful to not have them get infected and stuff. But I don't know, some of them feel like, I'm like, wouldn't that get a little uncomfortable after a while? Like, especially for ones like lip piercings or like nose piercings, I'm like, I feel like I would get fed up with them very quickly, I think. Just from like a sensory perspective, I think I would get fed up with them pretty fast. Yeah, I wanted piercings as a teen, but now no. I don't know, maybe I was just never edgy enough. I was never EGGY. I don't think I became even a little bit edgy until I finished high school. And even now, I feel like the edgiest I get is like Gothic Lolita. That's the edgiest I will go in terms of like personal appearance. Like, I will not get any edgier than that. I am not edgy. Normal. Well, I don't know. I guess I'm like edgy in different ways. I don't know. It's one of those things where it's like, you know, Lolita fashion is so weird because it's like it's definitely not the norm of fashion, right? Like it definitely is like a fashion subculture. But like it's in the other direction, right? Instead of being edgy in the way of being like full of, you know, because usually when you think of like, you know, alternative fashion, you think of something that's like really like, you know, edgy and like full of piercings and lots of black and red and like, you know, angry people clothes. Whereas like Lolita is like, it's still alternative fashion, but like it's kind of like it's very like cleaned up and like pristine, not pristine necessarily, but like it's very cleaned up and frilly and girly, and it's like, I feel like a lot of times people don't necessarily like perceive it as such. Yeah, what's that J fashion where it's like cute and light colored, but the writing on it is like I dream it up. Oh, is it Yami Kawaii or Menhera fashion, I guess? I don't know. Menhera is like a weird one because I feel like that one kind of like, it was more of like a mid to late 2010s thing, and then it like split off in multiple directions. Jirai-K is a little different. Yeah. Yeah, people won't expect I tweet this, so I guess the Eggy could be deeper in the private chat. Yeah, isn't Lolita supposed to be like super girly? It is. That's the thing. Is that it's not like, I mean, I guess gothic can be a little edgy, but like usually when people see like sweet Lolita, their first thought isn't like, rebellion, you know? Menhera is Jirai-K, isn't it? Okay. Actually. So, in kind of, I guess this was about 10 years ago, because I feel like it was definitely a 2010s thing. There was kind of a subculture of fashion that people would call, and again, I might be spreading misinformation because a lot of what I know comes from English sources, so it's possible that there might be like some stuff in Japanese that is like very well known among Japanese fashion people that I just am missing. But there was some fashions, I feel like in English people kept using these interchangeably, but I imagine in Japanese there was maybe a difference of what they called like yami kawaii, which is like dark kawaii, which I guess was like, because at the time you had what was called like yume kawaii, which is like very like soft pastel, fluffy kind of vibes, kind of dreamy vibes. And I guess yami kawaii was like, you know, that, but like the dark and evil and messed up version. And people also sometimes would call it like menhera fashion. Because again, the word menhera had been coined for a long time, but like that was the first time when they were like really applying it to fashion. So usually, yeah, menhera fashion was usually like, you know, it was kind of more in the vein of Decora or like, you know, yami kawaii. Like it was more in that vein, right? It was like, you know, pastels, cutesiness. You had a lot of, you know, medical motifs. So like, you know, pills or hearts or like syringes, doctor themed stuff. Yeah, like it was kind of more that in that vein. It was like kind of like illness as a theme, right? And so that was usually what they would call it, like menhera. And that was, it does not look anything like Jirai does now. That's the thing. Like, aside of both being, like, I guess there's some motifs that carried over, but it really does not look that way anymore. So I think after a few years, like, because the other thing with menhera fashion as well is that there was kind of a, I think a lot of people overseas kind of got it wrong in a certain ways. Because one thing that people had to keep pointing out is that like menhera fashion was often worn by people who did actually have like physical and mental illnesses. So another aspect of it was that it was very comfy. Like, it was the kind of clothes that were like, you know, somebody who's experiencing illness of some kind would probably actually wear. Like, in terms of like, you had a lot of like baggy t-shirts and you had a lot of like big oversized things and, you know, lots of like, you know, sneakers. Like, like you had a lot of things that were like fashionable, but something that somebody who's like trying to cope with, you know, health problems would probably still be able to put together like a decent looking outfit without like expending too much effort, right? So a lot of times there wasn't like, there might be a lot of accessories, but like, you know, there wasn't like super complicated makeup or anything, right? Sometimes there was, but like, you know, it was one of those things where it's like, it was something that somebody could pull together an outfit with like minimal energy, right? So that was Menheta fashion. And I think since then it's kind of not fallen off. I think it just like evolved in multiple different directions, I think. I think some of it is still around, but some of it kind of went and became GRI. Because to me, again, there's probably somebody who's more knowledgeable than me, who's like more involved like directly in Japan with the fashion. Around that same time that that kind of like Menheta fashion was popular, there was also a magazine called Larm. Larm is still around. Larm is still around. It's still running. It's a fashion magazine. But around the time, there was something that I guess was sort of... I think it's in one of the biggest cases of like miscommunication between Japanese and English-speaking J-fashion communities. People in English were treating Larm as its own sub-style. Like they call it Larm K, and they would like have like Larm K meetups and like specific Larm K brands. Whereas like in Japan, Larm K was just like, yeah, we're wearing stuff that looks like what we saw in Larm magazine. Like, that's just how it is. But a lot of, like, the stuff that was in there at the time, even if you look at, like, old back issues, a lot of it looks very, like, proto-GRI, right? Like, it's not quite the same, but you got kind of, like, similar color palettes, similar vibes of this, like, you know, it's cutesy, but not, like, childish. Like, it's a cutesy, but in kind of, like, a mature way. Yeah. So it's kind of feels like proto-GRI in that way. And I think kind of Menheta and that kind of probably eventually ran into each other, and that's how you got... But even GRI also had roots in, like, idol, like, girl idol otaku kind of background. Again, I don't want to be spreading misinformation, so, like, don't take this as gospel. But to me, I think that's kind of the direction that some of it went in, is that it kind of went and became GRI. And then I think some other parts of it kind of went in another direction and became kind of this like Y2K kind of style. Because like you said, yeah, you're right, like KK is tangentially related to that. Yeah. I think some of it kind of became more otaku and kind of... Because you still see kind of remnants of it today. It's just that like it just becomes... I guess more of this like Y2K cyber kind of stuff, right? But you still kind of get those motifs there too. So I think that's the end of my actually. The fashion you're probably thinking of is Menheta. But even GRI, I feel like there's so much I still don't know. Because like every so often I will get like a Japanese tweet about it and they'll be talking about stuff that I've never heard of. Like I remember somebody talking about like what they called like girly GRI versus like subculture GRI, and I'm like, oh my god, these are terms I've never heard, but like this explains a lot. These are words for things that I did not previously have words for. Because like it turns out like when they were talking about like girly GRI, it was like, you know, the typical like, you know, pink and black, you know, frilly skirt, open shoulder blouse with the frills, and you know, that kind, the typical look. Whereas like subculture GRI was usually like something more... Like, I guess it was something more edgy, like... How they even stay up to date on J-fashion in Japan, even? Probably the same way people stay up to date on fashion here. Like... Maybe if I search, like, subculture GRI, will I be able to come up with... I'm gonna have to search it in Japanese, probably. Yeah, like, I think subculture GRI takes more of that, like, cyber... kind of... look, I guess. But like, again, there's a lot of stuff that, like, despite the fact that we're all using the same social media websites, there's a lot of stuff that just like doesn't carry over for whatever reason. It's peculiar, is what it is. Yeah, following certain influencers, reading fashion magazines, people watching in major cities. Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much. I mean, I imagine that, like, because Japan's a smaller country, a lot of this stuff is a bit more, like, centralized. As opposed to, like, English-speaking fashion stuff where it's, like, you got, like, influences flying in from, like, you know, it's like British people are going to dress a little different than Americans, who are going to dress a little different than Canadians, who are going to dress a little bit different than, like, Australians. Like, there's kind of, like, stuff coming in from everywhere. Yeah. How do people stay up to date on fashion? Again, it depends on, like, what fashion you're looking at. Because, like, again, you have people who are fashion reporters and, like, go to big designer runway shows and stuff. But, like, I don't know, you can also, a lot of people also just, like, you know, have their finger on the pulse of, like, you know, social media and such. But, yeah. Again, I feel like there's a lot of, like, and I feel this even with myself. I feel like there's often, like, a big gap when it comes to knowledge of this stuff between, like, Japan and the rest of the world. Because there will be discussions that people are having in Japanese, and I guess just because, like, I feel like maybe there's just, like, a lack of translators in the community, especially for, like, English-speaking Lolita fashion. I feel like there just ends up being, like, because of the lack of, I guess, people who both interact with both and also can speak both languages, I guess sometimes there's just, like, there'll be visual crossovers in the sense that people will see a picture of people from somewhere else doing something else, but then, like, I don't know, I guess just, like, a lot of the attitudes and ideas behind it don't necessarily carry. Because I've also seen this happen with, like, I do not know a lot about Chinese Lolita communities, but, like, I definitely know they exist. I've known a few people who could speak both languages and were involved in both. But I almost feel like the crossover between, like, the Chinese and the English-speaking ones seem to have more crossover than the Japanese and English. Can you read the full necessary lingo on the Japanese forums, Discord servers? The thing is that, like, I can read some of it. The problem is that when there's, like, a specific word. Because you know how in English, like, how, like, usually, like, certain subcultures and certain groups will, like, come up with, like, their own new words, right? Like, that's just how language evolves in small groups, right? So sometimes it's, like, one of those things where it's like, okay, they're using a word I don't know. I could Google this. Will I come up with anything? I don't know. Like, or even using words in different contexts, right? Like, even think within, like, English VTuber sphere, right? Like, think about the idea of when people talk about, like, rats, right? Like, that's a specific word from that has a specific origin, right? And that's used almost exclusively within, or at least to my knowledge, is used mostly within, like, VTuber communities, right? I don't think anybody knows enough about the Chinese Lolita community. It's big! That's what I know. I know it's huge. Yeah, like, I don't know what this means in this context. Exactly, right? Like, if you say something like, oh, don't believe those rats. Would somebody who is, like, even somebody who speaks English, like, might not catch on correctly, right? They might see the use of the double R, and they might just assume that it, like, it means something else, right? They might just assume it's a typo, right? So it's like one of those things where it's like mistranslating slang has huge consequences for the understandability of text, but it might not be something that somebody might have any reason to know about it, right? So there's lots of words like that where it's like, okay, even if you know the language, you could be fluent in the language and still not know what this means, right? It's like, I don't know. It's like if English is your first language, you're still gonna be in a situation at some point in your life where a bunch of people are talking about a thing that you have no idea what any of it means. Or like I feel like even fluent English speakers often get into like, you know, I understand all those words separately kind of situations, right? Yeah. The intended meaning is someone is making this up or this is drama, I guess. Yeah, I believe the reason why there's two R's is because people took it from the word narrative. So the idea of like a rat is like it's like a rumor or a theory or just, you know, something that somebody just made up whole cloth. You know, narrative. Like, you know, so you can be like, oh, have you heard like it's like I saw this happen or like I heard about this happening, but it's probably just a rat kind of thing, right? That was invented after the fact. Okay, so it's like a retroactive thing. Interesting. I thought it came first. But yeah, the intended meaning is someone is making this up or this is drama. Yeah, like this is a rumor, this is not confirmed. This is not confirmed. Interesting. I didn't know it was a backronym. I assumed it went first and then Pecola said, "Okay." Yeah, I thought the Pekora came after, and then people grabbed onto that because... Alright! Yeah, you think you speak English, and then your friend in the oubliette starts pontificating about the gavel kind of in their did you even spell that right, or is that just a word I'm not familiar with? Because yeah, you even see that with like, I don't know, old people trying to understand young people slang, or young people trying to understand old people slang, right? It's like we need translator notes often for like books that were written like 100 years ago, even though it's still the same language. It's still English, right? Like I think that's yeah. Words are like that. Words are like that. Yeah. I don't need notes, but that's because I'm smart. I just know things. Have you tried just knowing things? Well, or even now, I think about how many expressions we have in English that, like, you know, we say them in English, but, like, the origin of them has completely evaporated. Like, how we have so many horse related expressions, despite the fact that, like, you know, we don't really use horses that much anymore. Like, we know what a horse is, but sometimes we don't really know. We're like, I mean, I guess there's certain expressions that are still understandable, but like, you know, like beating a dead horse, I think is pretty self-explanatory. But then I think about like, you know, things like putting the horse before the cart, or like, or the cart before the horse, right? Like, you know, we don't use horse-drawn carts anymore, but that expression has kind of stuck around, right? Yeah, I had a book of idioms as a kid. Yeah, and a lot of them are like, you know, stuff that I guess just has gone away, but like this expression stuck with us. Yeah. Gardening and farming expressions also veer into like cardinal double entendres often. Yeah, looking a gift horse in the mouth. Exactly. What does that mean? We still talk about it. We still talk about the gift horse. I don't know. I know there is a reason for that expression. Is it like was it like the ancient Greek thing where they stuck into the city in the big horse? I don't know. You know? I guess there's a lot of egg and chicken ones too, right? Which again, to be fair, we still have eggs and chickens, right? But there's a lot of like putting your eggs all in one basket or like counting your chickens before they hatch kind of thing, right? The horse has bad teeth and is gonna have health problems. The gift horse is actually a burden horse. Or what are some other ones that are things that come from like obsolete? My favorite of these isn't quite an expression, it's just the word film. Yeah, like how film is a verb despite the fact that we're like, this is done digitally now. Are you excited for the next idiom they'll use when you play Rattle? Oh boy. I hope you've heard of these. I hope you've heard of these expressions. What are some other ones that are like outdated? I think my favorite is the elephant in the room. Because I feel like that would be the weirdest one to try to explain to somebody who doesn't speak English. Like... yeah, it means don't check quality of the gift like you would something you're buying. Because if you're buying a horse, you'd look at its teeth first. Ah, okay. Yeah. I'd say it's easier to visualize. I mean, I guess. But it's more like... how did we come to this, right? How did we come to an elephant in the room? Exactly, to describe, like, a large problem that nobody is talking about. Or something that's, like, very obvious but nobody wants to talk about, right? Like... or... in the limelight? Oh yeah, that's another one, right? I guess in the LED doesn't quite have the same effect. Yeah, in the limelight, filming, I feel like there's probably a lot of telephone related ones too. The hardest for me to understand is have your cake and eat it too. Really? Like I mean... because if you eat it, you don't have it anymore, right? There's gotta be another phone call related one, right? I don't know, did people say before phones happened, before like the invention of the telephone, did people talk about putting things on hold? Because usually I think of that as like a phones thing, right? Like you put somebody on hold. But like, would you say, oh, we're putting that on hold for the moment? Was that like a thing people would say before the invention of the telephone? Before phones, it was telegrams. Yeah, but I don't think telegrams have sprouted any like notable expressions, right? Yeah, people were put on hold when the telephone was invented. Well, okay, that's true. That was probably a feature that was invented later. But when you have a cake, you can eat it. I think it's backwards. Yeah, but if you eat it, then you don't have the cake anymore. The idea of like, you can't have your cake and eat it too is like, you either eat the cake or you continue having the cake in front of you, right? You can't have both. You can't have both. Because if you eat the cake is gone. But if you have the cake in front of you, and you want to continue having it in front of you, then you can't eat it then. You can't eat your cake and keep it too. Well, you're probably a few hundred years late to figure this out. Yeah. Pelicans probably had expressions too. I wonder too also how we decided to call it a phone call. Like there's gotta be a reason why we picked the word call, right? Like the idea that you call someone on the telephone, or you had a long phone call. Like, there's gotta be a reason they picked that specific word, right? Because now we use the word call for everything, right? You have like a video call, phone call, like Discord call. I guess otherwise you called for someone. I guess that makes sense. That makes sense. Like yeah, I guess if you like needed to speak with them, you would call them over. I guess that makes sense. Yeah, phone doesn't even mean phone anymore. It means like pocket computer. Yeah, true. I mean, you still have phone numbers. Eggy, drink water? Yes. Yeah, you still have phone numbers, but like this. Eggy! Yeah? Hi? Nani gaski? Chocolamiento. Terima nata. But yeah. I think the weirdest thing actually I figured out actually about phone means pocket computer is so in Japanese they have separate words for smartphone and cell phone. So like cell phone is keitai denwa and then smartphone is like smaho. And the thing is that those things are not interchangeable. Like in English, those things are interchangeable, right? Like if a place bans cell phones, you're not going to be like, actually, this is a smartphone. And if a place is like phones, like, you know, cell phones are not allowed. Usually it's kind of inferred that like smartphones are also part of that. But like, I remember once telling somebody, I was like, oh, I can't find my phone. And I used the word keitai. And the people around me were like, keitai? Keitai? So yeah, it turns out keitai denwa and smaho mean like different things. So keitai denwa refers to like, I guess like the flip phones or like kind of the old-timey phones, whereas like smaho is smartphone, right? Those things are not interchangeable. If you tell someone you're looking for a keitai denwa when you're actually looking for your smaho, then they will not be able to help you find it. Or they will, but like they're gonna be looking for the wrong thing. And the thing is that I didn't realize until I got to Japan that they were different words because every textbook I've used was like slightly outdated. This is why you have to update textbooks because the word that they used for cell phone in every textbook I've ever seen is keitai denwa. Because again, they were probably presumably written back when people were using keitai denwas, you know? I can't find my rotary telephone. Pray tell, where is the nearest post office? I guess people still use post offices. Send a wire, drop a wire, wired for trouble, stop press, stop the presses, cablegram, cabled over, telegram style. Telegraphies? I don't think I've heard that one. Wire service, the wire came, got the wire. Allegedly. I've never heard like half of those. Or when I did, it was always in like old-timey settings, like I've heard stop the presses. I guess also too hot off the presses is like another one that I guess people still say. Oh, that's fun. Saying I got a telegram was often code for something serious happened. Interesting. I guess people would probably save telegrams for like important instances, right? Yeah. Flip phones are dead and it's terrible. I don't know. I think I just narrowly missed the era of flip phones. I was just not quite old enough yet. But yeah, I was I don't know. I think I narrowly missed it. My parents had flip phones, but I don't know. When I was playing Shibuya Scramble, because Shibuya Scramble, it was made in like 2008, right? Well, it was probably put in production in 2007, but like it was released in 2008. And one of the things I remember looking at it is like, you know, cell phones and laptops are like important parts of the story. And just looking at like, again, it's like a very 2008 game. Aesthetically, it is like the most 2008 thing ever made. But like, you look at the people's phones and they're all like, you know, they're like smartphones with like a bajillion charms. Right? Or there's this one character, she has a laptop. And I remember just looking at it and being like, whoa, did people actually used to do that with their laptops? She has a laptop and she has like, she like decoed it out. Like it's covered in stickers. It's like a white laptop. It's covered in stickers, which I mean, people still do that. I still do that. But she also had like lace glued around the edges of the computer. And I'm like, did people actually do that before? Did people like decorate their technology to this extent? Yeah, like bedazzling. Yeah, like she has like lace around the edges of like the top part of her laptop. Yeah, lace. I'll see if I have to find it. Hold on, let me see. I'm sure somebody probably has like an archive of like every CG from this game. Okay, is there a picture of the laptop somewhere? I'm finding pictures of the character. I'm finding a bajillion pictures of the character, but none of them are of her with her laptop. Man. And there's probably, oh, and also too, I'm probably not gonna find screenshots that easily. Because, like, I think it's also too that it would, like, you see her computer later into the story, so I imagine a lot of people probably aren't posting screenshots from that deep into the story because they don't want to, like, post spoilers or anything. Yeah. And the past technology was more decorated in the first place. I guess. I feel like, I guess now, I mean, I imagine it's probably cheaper to manufacture simpler looking stuff, and then you can market it as, like, minimalist or whatever. I don't know. I remember in high school, it was also trendy for a little while. There was this one app that would let you, like, change... I had it on my iPod Touch. It would let you change the icons on your, well, I was using it on my iPod, but, like, you could use it for your phone, too. So you could have just, like, super cute icons for your apps. But I feel like that's kind of gone away. Like, I made mine all, like, pink and stuff. Icon themes, they still exist. Yeah, but can you do it? Because, like, I think the way that that app worked is that what it would do is that, because you could do this apparently if you jailbroke your device, but I didn't want to do that. So I, like, basically what it did is it made a shortcut. So the icon, when you would press it, it was not technically the icon for the app. It was like, it's like when you make a shortcut on your desktop, right? It was basically just making a shortcut to the app, but with a different picture. So that's pretty much what it was. But I did that for a few of my things, and it was, like, cute and stuff. I don't know. I don't know. Sometimes I wish the UIs were, like, more customizable. Apple problems, too bad Android is gonna die soon, which means I need to presumably make all my apps super cute before that goes away too. Presumably. I don't know. There must be a way to make UI cuter. Do I need to Google that? Like, how to make my computer UI extremely kawaii? How to make it all cute and stuff. How to have cute computer. Wah, 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 wah. Yeah. Every day, Eggy gets closer to being a Linux user. Okay. If you guys can find me, like, a really cute UI that somebody has done on Linux, I will consider changing to Linux for like 5 minutes and then not do it. I found this on Windows customization. Okay. Oh, so people can customize Windows. You don't have to, like, switch to Linux or anything. Because, yeah, that's the thing, is that I'm just, like... The thing with Linux is that, like, I know that, like, 90% of the stuff that works on Windows also is supported on Linux. But I'm afraid that one day I'm going to run into the, like, other 10% of it that doesn't. And then I'm just gonna be kind of screwed. That's how it's going to go. And that's what I'm worried about. That's mostly what I'm worried about. Oh, these look cute. These look pretty cute. The other thing, too, though, I'm always also worried about is that, like, what if I just, like, update, or, like, if I customize it? I feel like every time I've customized anything, whenever I take, like, a screenshot, people are like, what's with your computer? What's with your computer? What's wrong with your computer? So, yeah, that's my other problem. Okay, some of these are pretty cute. They're a little bit cute. They're They're a little bit cute. They're not like super, super cute. There's one that's pink. That's cute. That's a little bit cute. Ignore the haters. Like, what's wrong with your computer? What's wrong with your computer? Yeah. I used to think that too, but I haven't come across anything that couldn't work around in the last decade or so. I've been on Linux as a daily driver. Yeah, I just like... Because again, the thing is just with VTubing, VTubing requires you to use a lot of extremely specific programs. And again, most of them probably work on Linux, but like again, one of these days, I'm probably gonna run into one that doesn't, and then it's gonna be... Yeah, printers are a pain on Linux. Yeah. I've heard that. I have not experienced it myself, but I have heard that, yes. Yeah, I'm sorry for bringing up Linux, I'm being silly. Because yeah, I don't plan to actually switch over in the near future. But yeah, that's just like my concern, is like, because especially with VTubing, VTubing has you using a lot of like weirdly specific niche programs that I'm just like, is it gonna work? And if it doesn't work, do I have another option? Like... Yeah, people will switch to Linux within the next 5 years. Well, I feel like I imagine with the Steam Deck, right? Because the Steam Deck runs on Linux. So I imagine like at least for games, most game devs are probably at least keeping Linux like in mind when they develop. There's lots of Miku desktops. Ooh, Miku. Miku. I mean, yeah, but that's like, I'm not just looking for wallpapers. I have wallpapers. I have wallpapers. I have plenty of wallpapers. Migu. Yeah, Mikan the Mink does VTubing on Linux. I mean, yeah, but the fact that, like, you have to think about on Linux, like, the fact that you have to think of it separately is, like... It's not just a wallpaper! I know there's other things, but, like, sorry, that was, like, the first thing I noticed. Reddit refuses to let me zoom in easily. Oh, and this is on Linux. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, I think Steam Deck is using a tool to make Steam games work on Linux, so it's not inherently built for Linux. Okay, yeah, because like I know that like most games are compatible. Like I'm sure there's probably some game on Steam that's like not compatible with the Steam Deck, but like they're mostly compatible, right? Because I don't know, for Steam Deck, the one thing I'm concerned about with some of the like handheld ones is just because I mean I guess the Steam Deck is a little chunkier, but because I've had this issue with some games on Switch where they develop the game, especially if it's a port of a game from a different console, they develop the game with the assumption you're going to be playing this like sitting down looking at your TV. So they kind of like size the UI and stuff with that intention. So when you play it in handheld mode, then it just becomes like impossible because it's like the font size is too small, or like certain things that like would be bigger and easier to see are like much smaller. That's my main concern actually with Steam Deck, is just like, yes, the game can run. Is it actually like comfortable to play on a smaller screen is like a different question. Because I remember even having that with some games that were like made for the Switch. Like I know a lot of people, I remember a lot of people even at the time had a complaint that like the font size in Fire Emblem Three Houses was like written for ants. And like for me, it was a little better when playing it on a TV. But if you were playing it in handheld, it's like, okay, you gotta hold this thing right up to your face. Like, I have no idea why the font size was that small, because I don't think in Japanese they had that problem. So maybe it was just like a factor of like, there was a lot of text and we're concerned it's not gonna fit in the text box in English if we don't write it out like this. But like, yeah, I remember like the font size. I every time I pull out the game again, I get reminded, I'm like, oh right, yeah, the font size was like itty bitty. Like, the text box takes up the entire bottom half of the screen, and yet for some reason the font size is, like, little. Most games work fairly well. Some games do have font issues. One of them being Elden Ring that I've played. Yeah, is it, like... Yeah, like, because, like, again, sometimes the UI just, like, doesn't scale down very well, I guess. Because I'm trying to think if I've had other games that I'm like, this would not play very well on a smaller screen. I bought Three Houses like a year ago. I have not played it since. It's still a good game, you know, provided you can pull out the magnifying glass and read the story. Because even actually, when I've played some of the, like, Super Mario 64, I seem to remember having an issue at some point with that too, of like, again, this probably worked well on a bigger, like, on a bigger CRT. Or, like, even other games I've played in the, like, on Nintendo Online that were probably originally built. Like, that was, when I initially tried Majora's Mask, that was actually an issue I had, because I was playing it in handheld mode. Because I tried playing it once before I streamed it. And playing it in handheld mode was just not comfortable, because it was not meant to be, like, the N64 version was not meant to be, like, played on a screen that small, right? This was meant to be played on, like, a CRT TV that was at least 2 or 3 times bigger than the Switch screen, right? Yeah, I'd say it's on the devs to make something readable in mobile format, not a device problem sometimes. Yeah. It is, like, a game design problem. It is not a technological issue. But I also know that, like, sometimes these things are harder to fix than you think. Like, I feel like I've definitely, like, I've heard of games where they tried to add, like, a text size, like, you know, you can modify the text size, but then, like, if you make the text bigger than a certain amount, then it just, like, breaks everything, because suddenly, like, stuff doesn't fit in text boxes anymore, kind of thing. I've heard of that happening, so I know it's not, like, it's a problem with a solution that's, like, a little more difficult than you think it would be. Like, yeah, even Disco Elysium, I think, was another one I had issues where it was, like, on handheld Switch, it was, like, font for ants. I can't imagine it's much better on Steam Deck. And again, most of the text is being read out to you, so it's not, like, a huge issue, but, like, you know, font for ants. Ugh. Ugh. Yeah, Steam Deck user here. Most games work fairly well, but some games do have font issues. One of them being... Oh, wait, no, I already read this. Other Wing. Other Wing. But... yeah, technology. Technology. So let me put my old battery back into the computer. Some games shouldn't be on Switch, readability aside. Some just run terrible. Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to think, because I've definitely had, like, sometimes I'm confused as to how this happens, because again, developing for PCs has a thing where, like, every computer is a little different, but, like, developing for Switch is, like, every Switch is more or less the same. But I've somehow still had Switch games that had frame rate issues in places that you think they wouldn't. Like, I played the demo for one of the, Famicom Detective Club games, and for some reason there was this, like, really, really, really bad lag whenever the game would switch from, like, a, like, you know, a cutscene, because, I mean, it's a, like, text kind of game. It's a reading game. It's like a Ace Attorney, sort of. So every time it would switch from, like, a gameplay portion to, like, a video cutscene, that was, like, a pre-rendered video cutscene, there'd be this massive, massive lag. And then there would also be massive, massive lag on the way back. And I don't know what happened with that. It's very strange. I don't know if it was, like, a bug, because I was playing the demo version, so maybe that was just, like, a bug they had at launch. That they had at launch, and then they just, like, fixed it for the final version. But yeah, it was very strange. I was like, how do you screw that up? This was a Switch exclusive. Text game made by Nintendo. I mean, technically it wasn't Nintendo. Who ported these? It wasn't Nintendo. It was one of those things where it's like a... like, you know when it's like a... I guess it's like a second... it's not like a third party or first party game. It's like a second party. It's like when Nintendo, like, commissions other companies to do stuff. Who developed this? It was like a visual... They got, like, a visual novel. It is a company that usually does visual novels. Mages. Okay, and it was developed by Nintendo and Mages. Okay, I knew they got one company that usually does like visual novel type games to help them with it. Yeah, partner developers kind of murky and underreported because yeah, usually I see people treat them as first party games, like stuff like Fire Emblem, where it's like technically this isn't developed by Nintendo, but like it was still under Nintendo's supervision, right? Like it's not like a third party game where it's like this is Capcom like developing for like a Nintendo console kind of thing, right? Yeah, it was Mages. Because I think, okay, so the one I was playing the demo for, it was like a new installment in the series that was released. It was the first new title in the Famicom Detective Club series in 27 years, okay, according to Wikipedia. And I know the older ones got Switch remakes too, that I believe were also done by Mages? Or maybe they weren't. The Wikipedia page will not tell me. Okay, cool. Because yeah, the originals were Nintendo. Okay, yeah, they were also developed by Mages. Okay. Yeah. Because, like... Yeah, I don't know what those count as. They're like, I don't know, like second-party games. They're not quite third-party, but they're not quite first-party. But yeah, it's like a text adventure, so I don't know how they managed to have, like, problems with that. Because there wasn't any other technical issues with it. I never ran into any other issues. It was just specifically when it was transitioning from video back to gameplay or gameplay back to video. It was very strange. I give it a pass when it's a larger game because since the hardware wasn't the best when the system was made anyway, it only optimized so hard with a Nintendo-made game. I know hardware isn't everything. Yeah. I don't know, because I think I'm trying to think of other games that I've had technical issues with. There was a little bit of lag with Eye of the Somnium Files. Both of them. But also, Eye of the Somnium Files, I think, was not, like, natively developed for the Switch. I believe it was, like, a port, and they also released it for, like, PC and stuff. So I think that doesn't quite... It's understandable that it would have a bit of lag. I don't remember any technical issues with Three Houses. I don't remember any issues at all with Animal Crossing. Ace Attorney was fine. Well, I mean, to be fair, Ace Attorney... It'll be interesting to see what happens with the next Ace Attorney. Tree Houses. Hello, Nuna. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens with the next Ace Attorney because... the most recent English release, like Great Ace Attorney Chronicles, that was like a port of the 3DS. Like, the originals for those were made for the 3DS. So, like, yeah, of course they're gonna run fine on Switch because they were originally made for, like, an even weaker console. But, yeah, I don't know... Yeah, I'm trying to think if there's been... I haven't experienced that many games that had, like, noticeable issues. Can't wait for my unoptimized visual novel. Yeah, I'm trying to think if there's anything that's had, like, actual problems. That, like, weren't present in, like, the versions for other systems. I don't know. Let's see what happens with, like, the new Danganronpa one. I'm actually excited for that. I'm actually excited for that. I am looking forward to new Danganronpa. I think they'll render Phoenix Wright too much that makes it impossible to run the game on the Switch too. They made his hair too pointy, too many polygons in his pointy haircut. Yeah. I mean, to be fair, I don't even know... Because, like, the thing is that, like, the original Ace Attorney games were, like, all 2D sprites. And I know they transitioned into 3D, and I know it had kind of, like, a very rocky transition into 3D. But...
Smile for the photo, me drawing.
There we go. I hope that's enough. I hope you drew really, really fast. Yeah, visual novel, but 60GB RAM requirement, current gen graphics, and 2 motherboards. The world's most advanced visual novel. Yeah, I can't wait for them to make Ace Attorney, but not bad. Well, I don't know, because the thing is that with the Ace Attorney, I'm not sure what to expect if they do make a 7th game. But I think the thing is that, like, the transition to 3D, I think, was kind of weird. Because, like, you look at, like, what was the first Ace Attorney 3D game? I think it was the Professor Layton crossover. And Phoenix, I think, looks fine. I think Maya looks a little wonky. I feel like it took them a couple tries to get 3D Phoenix to look right. I feel like 3D Apollo looked okay from the start, but I think that's just because his design, like, is better suited to 3D. Whereas, like, Phoenix and Edgeworth too. Although I think Edgeworth has only appeared in 3D once. Phoenix and Edgeworth are very, like, blocky. Because this is a series that's been around for a very long time, right? And you can kind of see the design trends that have kind of, like, you know, you can see how, like, trends have changed with regards to designs as time went on, right? Because you look at the original designs and they're very square. They're very large, like, big shoulders, very square guys. And then you look at Apollo Justice, and he is notably less square. Right? Like, everybody kind of from that generation, like Apollo, Trucy, they're a little softer, right? They're a little smaller, they're a little softer. They're not, like, you know. And again, part of it is just that, like, Apollo is supposed to be younger. So I guess they don't want him to look so, you know, strong and authoritative. But yeah, it's a lot softer. And then you look at, like, Athena, who I think is even more stylized than, like, the first two, like, more so than Phoenix and Apollo's. Like, everything has gotten less blocky over time, but it's meant that, like, the transition to 3D for, like, some of the blockier guys has been a little rocky, you know? It took a while for them to figure out how to make Phoenix look good in 3D. And most of what that consisted of seemed to be, like, you know, softening him out, making him look a little more like Apollo. It's 25? Nope, I got, actually, it was the crossover game first. I know, I simply know things, okay? Yeah. He does look really good in Dual Destinies. Yeah, I think by the time they got to Dual Destinies, I think they've more or less figured it out. I think the other thing that took them a while to get to was, I think as well, was, like, the animations. Like, how to make the characters as, like, big and expressive in 3D as they were in 2D, and I think that also took them a little longer. Like, Great Ace Attorney, I think, was good for that. But I think, yeah, it wasn't something that they, like, figured out immediately. But yeah, I think Capcom is supposed to be doing some kind of, like, big announcement next month. I hope it's Ace Attorney 7. I'm ready to be disappointed. I'm ready for the miracle to never happen. I'm ready. But, like, I'll hold out hope for that. I'll hold out hope that, yeah, Monster Hunter 20 bajillion. Well, because I think there is reason to believe that Ace Attorney 7 is coming. Because I believe there was, like, a trademark that was taken out for, like, in Japan for, like, Daigekten 7 or something like that. Like, a little while ago, like, a few months ago. People noticed that. So, like, there is reason to think that at least it's, like, in development. But, like, I'm hoping. Because when was the last mainline game was literally in 2016. It was 2016. That's, like, 10 years. Yeah, I mean, I guess we got Great Ace Attorney within that time. But still, like, 10 years. But I guess, I don't know, I guess we are kind of in the era of companies remembering that they have game franchises. And they're like, oh, right, yeah, maybe we should release more Katamari. Maybe we should release more. Yeah. Kind of wonder if they'll have a new writer. True, right, because the original trilogy was written by... What was his name again? I know the original trilogy was written by one guy. And then Investigations and the second quote-unquote trilogy was like a second guy. The second three and Investigations. Yeah, splitting the perspective across 3 different characters really killed Dual Destinies for me. I think the thing is that they just don't know what to do with Athena. It's like, okay, we're gonna have a new protagonist, but like, I think it was a little too soon because Apollo only existed for 1 game, right? I don't know, Apollo keeps, they've accidentally created the most interesting man in the world. It's so, like, Apollo is supposed to be introduced as just, like, some guy, and then he somehow has gotten roped into, like, everything happening ever on Earth. Like... It's like, yeah, this is some guy, and it's like, no, actually, he's experienced just everything. Just everything ever. Like, they're just making it up as they go. They made Apollo up as they went. Like, what new thing are we gonna throw at him? What new thing are we gonna throw at him this time? Yeah. Yeah, it's like, by the way, you grew up in a foreign country for a couple years and also your best friend is dead. Yeah, originally it's like, oh yeah, you're the son of this important person. It's like, no, actually also, and also, and also. Like, just what new thing are we gonna make up for him this time? Everything ever has happened to Apollo Justice. Do you think they'll move on from Phoenix, or will he become a Kiryu moment? I think they've already kind of had the Kiryu moment. Because I know that, like, one of the reasons they brought him back for Dual Destinies was apparently because Apollo Justice didn't sell as well as they were hoping, and they thought maybe the cause of that was because, like, Apollo is a new character that people didn't recognize, so they thought, oh, if we bring Phoenix back, then it's like, ooh, recognizable character. I don't know if it worked, but, yeah, they kind of can't get rid of Phoenix, it seems, or they refuse to. And then we'll just throw in Athena, that's fine. Apollo was also very late into the DS. Was he? Maybe. That sounds plausible. That sounds plausible. Because that was what, like 2000... In Japan, I think it was like 2008 or 2009. In North America, it was probably like a year or 2 later. But yeah, no, I think, I don't know, what are my hopes for Ace Attorney 7? My hopes for Ace Attorney 7 are that they don't invent any new main characters. You can invent new witnesses, that's fine. Please invent new witnesses. Do not invent any new characters. We have enough of them. We have enough. Just expand on what we have. We have characters at home, it's fine. Like, can't wait for the 4th lawyer. Well, I don't know, I think 3 is the ideal number to have. Like, I remember, like, somebody saying as well that, like, Apollo, Phoenix, and Athena also have this kind of, like, see no evil, hear no evil, speak no evil kind of deal going on, which I think is kind of cool. I don't know, I just don't think we don't need a 4th lawyer. It's fine. We don't need a 4th assistant either. Please just expand on the ones you have. Bring back Maya if necessary. Bring back Maya if you have to. Bring back Trucy if you have to. Like, we don't need any more. Yeah. That's every long-running series like Pokemon. What, like just add a 4th thing? Or is it just like we're gonna bring back Pikachu for the 9,000th time? Or Clown Lady. She was only in 1 case. She's only in 1 case. But yeah, please bring in more witnesses. That's fine. That's fine. You can invent new witnesses. Phoenix long lost twin brother. Oh, you know who we need to bring back? You know who's been dead for a long time? But she still shows up in merch, so we know that Capcom still knows she exists? Franziska. Franziska has been missing from this series since Ace Attorney Investigations 2. She didn't show up. Even Edgeworth showed up for a case, like a DLC case in Spirit of Justice. Franziska has been nowhere. Gumshoe has been nowhere. Did Gumshoe die of starvation? Did Gumshoe die? Is he alive? Can we see him? Was he like... She's at merch, so they don't lose the trademark, yeah. Or like, I don't know. I guess Gumshoe gets merch too. That's weird. I don't know. Was Gumshoe just not popular in Japan? Is that why he just like never got brought back? I don't know, because I thought he was like a reasonably popular character. Not like Phoenix Edgeworth levels of popular, but like, you know, people liked him. Gumshoe and Maggie have kids in Ace Attorney 7. Honestly, that would be probably actually the best possible outcome. Like, you run into some kid and they're like, yeah, my dad was a detective and my mom was a police officer, and you're like, oh, you probably got fired. Because yeah, he's been missing for like a decade. Where did he go? Capcom, where is he? Where is Franziska? Where is Gumshoe? You cannot bring back only Edgeworth. We've never actually had a 3D Franziska. Did you know that? Franziska and Gumshoe are not, they don't exist in any of the 3D games. We've never seen them in 3D. Not even once. We're saving for a Marvel vs. Capcom 3 DLC release. Just gonna add more things to Phoenix. Cause yeah, like I think yeah, that's my, you know what, that's my wish for Ace Attorney 7. Where's Franziska and where's Gumshoe? I want more Phoenix Wright showing up in fighting games. Honestly, I was hoping to have him in Smash. It's you know, it's never completely off the table. He could still do that one day. Phoenix Wright for Smash. Phoenix Wright for Smash. Wendy Oldbag on her deathbed. Well, I don't know. There's some characters where I understand why they wouldn't bring them back, because like in the timeline, these people are probably like dead or at the very least extremely elderly. So like, yeah, Wendy Oldbag or Grossberg or, you know, any of the old people. Will Phoenix ever get a wife? I don't know if that's a priority for him. Has Phoenix, you know what I think of it, has Phoenix ever had any kind of like romantic... Yeah, I don't think Phoenix has had any kind of romantic thing that's like explicitly romantic and not like, you know, heavily implied, you know? Like, Phoenix had one girlfriend in like college, and she tried to kill him, and he just never dated a woman ever again. Like, he's gay. Actually, he's Ace. It's in the title. Get it right. Because like, even if it's like Phoenix Edgeworth, which I mean, I guess is like heavily implied, but the thing is, I don't think Edgeworth is too busy for that. They're both too busy for that. They're both too busy for that. They don't have time. Like... Like, yeah, I don't think Phoenix has had a single, like, explicitly romantic storyline other than, like, the flashback in Trials and Tribulations. I think that's the only time. Like... Oh god. If they do Ace Attorney 7, are we gonna have like a second time skip? Oh god. Oh no! Oh no! Next year! Next year! Hold on. When does Dual Destinies take place? Hold on. When does Apollo Justice take place? Because the original... Okay. The original Ace Attorney canonically takes place in 2016. It's like a very like 2001 version of 2016. Like it's a version of 2016 where everybody still uses like flip phones and cassette tapes. But like, there's a time skip after the first 3 games. There's like a time skip to like 2026 or something. Oh god! Oh no! Oh no! Okay, hold on. Okay. Oh god, oh no! Oh god, it's the episodes. Okay, hold on. First case of Ace Attorney 3 takes place in, oh god, April 17th, 2026. That's when the first case of Apollo Justice takes place. We're already in the time skip. I hate this. I hate this. I've lived through both Ace Attorney time skips. Because, like, okay, when I was playing the games, I actually played Ace Attorney for the first time in 2016. And when I saw 2016 on the screen, I didn't realize that it was, like, actually, like, that's the canonical date. I assumed that it was just, like, you know, the game just takes whatever date and time that you have set in your 3DS and, like, just uses that. I assume it just, like, automatically uses the date and time. No, 2016 was, like, the canonical date. And yeah, we are now 1 year away. Next April. April 17th, 2026. We will... I mean, to be fair, playing Ace Attorney in 2016 is funny because you basically get people posting on the days when stuff canonically happens. Or like, today, Phoenix Wright, like, canonically cross-examined a parrot, right? Like, do you know how fun it was to get into Ace Attorney in December of 2016? Do you know how fun that is? Like, you know, the day that, like, Merry Christmas canonically happened. The year of almost Christmas, it means it wasn't Christmas. It was a great time. It was, like, the ideal time to get into Ace Attorney. But yeah, so okay, to be fair, I'm kind of looking forward to being able to experience that again. To get, like, canonical... To have people be like, yes, on this day, canonically, this person was murdered, or like, you know, Apollo Justice went to court and this happened. Okay, that will be kind of fun. That will be kind of fun. I guess I got that to look forward to in the future. But yeah, are they gonna have a second time skip? Cause like, yeah, Apollo Justice took place in 2026. Was there like another couple year time skip between that and Dual Destinies? Yeah, when's the first case of Dual Destinies take place? Okay, December 16th, 2027. Okay. So it's just like 1 year skip. Okay. Yeah. Ace Attorney case stream during a day of cases, genius content. Well, the thing is though that the cases usually take place over like a couple days, right? So I'm like, surely trying to play this thing in real time would result in like, you know, playing it for like half an hour each day, you know? Yeah, are we gonna have another time skip? Are we gonna be getting like attorneys in like 2034 or something? Do it, playing Ace Attorney in real time. Apollo Justice in real time. Okay, I mean, okay, that would be kind of fun. That would be kind of fun. All that whining and you're excited. I mean, it's a bit of both. It's a bit of, yay, I will be able to experience this again, but also like, oh no, the passage of time. Surely you've experienced this as well, right? The passage of time? Surely this is also an issue for you. Oh god, I'm looking at these characters. I'm looking at like Apollo Justice's character profile.
Is it the passage of time again?
Oh boy. You know it. Did you know that Apollo Justice's we don't know his actual birthday, but it seems that the best estimate based on what we know about him in the game and like the timeline is, according to this wiki page, somewhere between July and December of 2003. Apollo Justice was born in 2003. How do you feel? How do you feel? I'm older than Apollo Justice. I'm older than Apollo Justice. All of you are probably older than Apollo Justice too. When was Phoenix born, actually? Oh When was Phoenix born? Okay. Phoenix was born... Estimate was 1992 or 1993. So some of you are probably the same. Some of you are probably the same age as Phoenix, right? Some of you are probably the same. And how much, what about Maya? What about Maya? Okay, Mia's estimate is 1989, because I guess that makes sense. She's older than Phoenix. Maya estimated birth year is 1999. I guess a lot of us are probably close to Maya in age. Yeah. I've been a Dune Enjoyer, which takes place in the year 1019. I will not be like, oh, Paula Treyz was born today. Oh, 89. Yeah, because she's older than Phoenix. Interesting that, like, she and Maya have, like, an entire 10-year age gap. That's insane. But, like... Yeah, I guess if she was, like, what, like... 16 or, like, 17 in 2016, I guess, yeah, that checks out. And, okay, what about Pearl? Because I know Pearl's supposed to be like 8 or something when she first shows up. How old is she? Pearl Faye. Reckon birth years 2009 or 2010. Pearl would be today. Oh wait, no, we don't have to estimate because she does show up in a DLC case in Dual Destinies, and she's like 17 at that point. 89, that's my age. Congratulations, you're the same age as Mia Faye. I imagine Edgeworth is the same age as Phoenix, right? Because they talk about going to schools together, so I imagine Edgeworth is probably the same. Same with Larry. What about... I'm still... Again, I'm still not over the fact that I am, in fact, older than Apollo Justice. I'm older than Apollo Justice. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. How old is Athena? Athena's gotta be like a mega zoomer, right? Because she's even younger than Apollo. Yeah, she's gotta be even younger than Apollo, right? Athena was born in 2009. Athena... Deduced birthday range is somewhere between December 2008 and April of 2009. Eggy, if you log in your life, you could have been a Japanese lawyer by now. I mean, to be fair, like, everybody in this game is like a super mega genius who becomes, like, passes the bar at, like, 18. They're just constantly setting new records for, like, the youngest age you can pass the bar. But yeah, still, I'm just like... It's more just like, I'm thinking, because I guess it's one of those things where you're writing about something in the future. And it's like, okay. Athena was born in 2009. Which means she'd be, what, like 16 right now? I don't know. We didn't know about TikTok at the time they were making this game. Did Athena Sykes experience TikTok brain rot? They never mention it. Maybe she did. Like... Does Apollo Justice... Like... Did he... I don't know. I guess they didn't account for the COVID pandemic. Yeah. I mean, at least they managed to fit the entire pandemic, more or less, within the time skip, right? At least, like, the most prominent parts. They put that all in the time skip, so that's fine. Well, actually, no. When does Edgeworth stuff take place? Let me find out. Yeah, when does Edgeworth stuff take place? Um, 2019. The first one takes place in 2019. Does the second one take place in 2020? Nope, also 2019. Okay. Man. Okay, maybe they did think that over. Maybe they did think that over by having, like, nothing take place between, like, 2020 and 2023. Smart. Okay, I think I'm gonna take a break for a second. And we'll put up my silly... Do I even have the washroom? Do I even have the text in this? I don't even have that source loaded in. Let me load it in. There we go. You can get your silly face. I need to put this somewhere where it's visible. The text is not... There we go. Alright. Get some licorice all sorts. No, I'll probably get some popcorns. It'll probably be popcorns. But that's fine. I'll be back momentarily. Let me put on my... Pause this.
Let's go. It's Saggy Face Hour.
Let's go! Let's go! Chat is the washroom now. I don't know. If you have any better place to put it that isn't gonna... Like, is it still gonna be readable? I guess I can put it like this. There we go. Have a silly face. Alright. I hope you got all your funny faces. I hope you got all your funny faces. There you go. Welcome back. Hello. Return of Eggy. We got a few? That's good. You know, sometimes I used to worry that, like, leaving my face on the screen like that, like, instead of having, like, a proper BRB screen, feels, like, weirdly unprofessional. But then, you guys all seem to like it. You all seem to really like it. NiceEggy 2, the Eggy returns. Object permanence difficulty. If there's no Eggy, she just doesn't exist. It's very eggy. It's very eggy. I'll keep doing it then. I'll keep doing it. And everybody can make fun of my BRB face. My AFK face. But yeah, I have to see if there's a way to, like, I don't know, maybe I can, like, add an outline or something to the letters. I feel like they don't show up very well. They show up fine on the game screen, I think, because it's usually over, like, a darker background, but, like, over this, it doesn't... They're not... The readability is not great. It's not great. Would not meet most graphic design standards. But then again, I am also somebody whose entire color palette is like yellow on white, so maybe readability is just never in the cards for anything I do. Sorry, I'm eating my popcorns. Yeah, it's now a tradition of Eggy break time face hour. Gotta get one face in each stream, yeah. One silly face. Requirement of at least one silly face per stream. Is it really an Eggy stream if there's no silly face? Has to be city. Yummy popcorns. Oh god, I need to do so many groceries today. I am out of everything. Just every single thing. Except rice, I guess. Like, I'm almost out of pasta. I'm almost out of bread. I think I still have eggs. I have plenty of rice. I bought like a gigantic, like, 10-pound bag of rice the other day, so I think I'm good. Or maybe it's even more than 10 pounds. It's the biggest bag of rice I've ever purchased. I still have edamame beans, but you can't just eat them on their own. You have to eat them with something. I mean, I still have the pork chops, I guess. But I would have to remember to take them out of the freezer, which I did not. I guess I'll make rice today. For my... I guess it'll be protein slop. Because, like... Yesterday I went out, so... I should have done groceries yesterday. I get groceries more like groceries because it's a large haul. It's not even that much. It's just like it's a few very crucial items, you know? A few extremely crucial items of high importance. It's fine, I'll do the pork chop next week, I guess. It'll happen eventually, okay? You will know. I will announce when I remember to take the pork chops out of the freezer. I'm sorry for being feeble. Pork chop next week eventually. No, it has to be next week because, if it isn't, then, if it isn't next week, then the onion will start to go bad. Or the ginger. But yeah, next week? Oh, next week I think... Wait, today's the 18th? Wow, it's already the 18th? Oh, yeah, next week I start, I start Japanese classes next week. That'll be important. Yeah, next week. Okay, yeah. I start Japanese classes. I will be learning. I will be studying. I will be becoming educationed. I will get educationed. I will be learning with my brain. I might even have homework. Wow. Oh, I should buy my textbook. I should order my textbook. I just realized I haven't ordered the textbook yet. Japanese plus plus. Yeah, I need to order the textbook. I've been putting that off, but I need to do that. I'm gonna get Sojozu. I'm gonna, like, you know, continue on my quest to get more Jozu. I'm gonna reach higher points of Jozu-ness. I will Bunpo Shiru. I will Kanji. I will Kanji Shiru. I will Wakarimasu. I'm gonna be able to wakarimasu even more. I'm gonna wakarimasu even harder. I'm gonna be able to hanasu. Gonna be able to kaku. Gonna be able to wakaru. Gonna be able to you know, do some kaiwa. You know, eventually I might even be able to get good enough to do some, onyaku. Maybe, ukeru, the JLPT. Sorry, I'm still eating my popcorns. I don't know. I guess I would like to get N2 at some point in my life. Because N2, I think, is, like, usually the pretty standard, like, you are decent at Japanese. You are... Because I think even for jobs in Japan, if you're applying for a job, most of the jobs that they, like, have you get are mostly... Like, they ask for N2. Like, that's usually considered, like, you know, you're not, like, fluent, but you have, like, you know, a degree of fluency. But yeah, I'm gonna have to Benkyo a bit harder. Benkyo a bit harder for a bit longer. Get in a lot of Renshu. Do a bit more, I'm running out of words I can just drop into a sentence. It's okay, I'm gonna Gembody Mass. I feel like I'm eating popcorn. Like, you know that one video of the cat that's like just like dives into the feed, like the bottle, like the bowl of feed, and just takes one big bite before the owner like lifts them up and moves them? That's how I feel right now when I'm eating the popcorn. I'm just taking like one big bite before I am like forcibly removed. You've seen that video, right? I'm assuming you all know what I'm talking about, right? You know, the one cat that just goes, ow. And then gets lifted away. It's like that. Or like, well, maybe not quite. There's another video, is it the one with like the cat that's like in a giant bowl of food? And it just like, he's just eating it as he's like sitting in there. And just like his greed will consume him. I don't think I'm quite there with popcorn. My greed will not consume me. Because there's only so much popcorn. There's only so much popcorn. My greed will not consume me. I will not be greedy. I will be humble and average, I guess. I don't know. I guess I don't have to be completely humble and average. I can be a little... I don't know. What's the opposite of humble? Like snobby or something? What's the opposite? I'm not sure what the opposite would be. I can be the opposite of humble if I want to. I don't think I know that video, but I don't come across cat videos often. Okay, I've come across like nothing except cat videos. Like smug, cocky? I guess a little bit. I can be less humble, I think. I need to be less humble. I need to brag more. I need to brag more. Not too much, but like just a little bit. Just a little bit. Well, like, I don't know. What's the opposite? Like, when people compliment you, I don't know what's better. Is it better to, like, agree? I guess you say thank you. But, like, I don't know. If someone's just like, you're good at singing, like, what am I supposed to say? Like, yes? Confident is probably the positive way to spin it. Yeah, yeah. Well, it's just like, you say thank you. Yeah, you say thank you, but, like, what is the, like, implied part that you're kind of supposed to have, right? Like, you can't just thank the person. I don't know. I guess I just like. I don't know. I'm actually remarkably bad at responding to compliments, despite the fact that, like, again, I will admit there is no shortage. I am complimented pretty consistently on many things. But like, for someone who gets complimented this much, I'm actually not good at responding to compliments at all. Like, especially from people who are like extremely sincere and also like, because this happens to me, I guess for two things mainly, but like fashion and singing. I don't, because like, people will go up to me and they'll be like, wow, you're so good at singing, and I will say, oh, thank you, and then, again, they will very sincerely continue, like, praising my singing, and I'm like, oh, thank you. Like, I don't, I'm not actually good at taking compliments about anything. Like, not about my clothes, not about my singing. I don't know. And it's like, it's not like I have had any shortage of getting practice for compliments. Like, if anything, sometimes I feel like I like crave negative feedback. Like, I get enough compliments that I'm like, okay, what am I doing wrong? What am I doing wrong? What a horrible life you lead. And I know it's a terrible thing to complain about, but it's like, I don't know. I guess it's like one of those things where you like you meet somebody whose job is like, who has like one of those jobs where they do nothing and they complain that they're bored, and you're like, you know, you're like, oh, you're bored while you're working a job that's like super busy all the time. And you're like, oh, you're bored? How dare you be bored? And it's like, no, that's still it's still a problem. It's still something you have to think about, but like, it's like, But yeah, it's like sometimes I like crave negative feedback because I'm like, okay, thank you. Somebody around here is being honest. I got complimented once in 4th grade. That's the only thing I hold on to. There's gotta be a second compliment. Gotta be a second one. No, if anything, I don't know. I guess it's like, the thing is that when you get complimented a lot is sometimes you wonder, and like, you know, on some level that like some of it has to be sincere, right? But like, to some level, sometimes I'm just like, am I just too nice? Am I like so nice? Am I so like, I don't want to be bullied. I don't want to be people to be outright mean to me, but it's also just like, do I have the vibes of somebody who can't take constructive criticism? And part of me is like, don't answer that, but like, I'll keep an eye out for constructive criticism. Happy? Okay, yeah, because I'm like, sometimes when you get complimented enough, and when like the ratio of compliments to like negative feedback is this, like after a while it kind of starts to feel, it's like, is any of it real? You seem to be able to take criticism. Okay, that's good. Because sometimes I worry, I'm like, do I have the vibe of somebody that like you don't want to be mean to? Got stuck in the nice category. Yeah, well, it's like, you know, sometimes it's like, it's one thing to be nice, but it's like, do I have the vibe of somebody who like everyone is scared that they're going to like break me if they say something like less than complimentary about me? Like, do I have the vibe of that? And like, I don't know. It's not quite the vibe I want to give off, you know? I think that, yeah, I don't want to be mean to anyone. Fair. I suspect if you think I'm mean, you just skip the message. Fair. I mean, I guess with streaming, it's a little different because, like, I'm still in control, right? Like, I get to decide what gets acknowledged and what doesn't. That's fair. But yeah, this isn't real EGGY. You're a character simulation. Alien overlords are simulating a VTuber stream and implanted fake memories on you. You never existed before the stream. You'll cease to exist as you turn it off. Oh no. So we need to be mean. Just a little bit. I guess I'm mean, but like, you can be honest. You can be honest. You're allowed to be honest. I don't know. I guess it's just like one of those things is that like, yeah, when you hear nothing but compliments, you start to wonder like, do people mean this sincerely? Like, what is driving people to compliment you, you know? Like, I don't know. That's like something I think about every once in a while where I'm like, yeah. Is it nature of media? I think if I didn't like something, I'd just leave it. That's fair. That's also fair too, right? And also too, I think that like compliments also make me feel weird when I don't feel like I'm being successful, right? Like, because sometimes it's just like, it's like, okay, it's like if you were like, if people always told you like you are smart, right? If people told you you're smart, and yet you're still failing all your classes, you'd probably start to think they're messing with you, right? And sometimes I feel that way with certain things, where it's like, okay, people are like, they're like, oh, you're so good at singing. I'm like, if I'm so good at singing, then why am I not like super famous singer? And I know that part of it is just that like I don't like put myself out there enough, but it's also just like, you know, if I'm so good at singing, then why am I still where I am, right? Or if I'm so smart, then why am I not in the yeah, you know? Yeah, I've heard about those cases of celebrities, superstars, and politicians that get gig-inflated egos from being told they're amazing so often. Yeah, yeah. And, like, I wouldn't want that. That's the thing, though. Because I think the thing is that, like, I get skeptical enough if I get nothing but compliments. I get skeptical enough that I'm just like, Surely you can't all believe that, right? Yeah. There's also a degree of psychology. We don't live in your head. I don't know your deepest thoughts that motivate and control your actions. That's fair. Well, that's like how, you know, things that might seem like a compliment to one person to another person probably aren't, right? Like, I know a lot of, like, musicians don't like being told that they're talented, because you're like, oh, I'm talented, huh? I guess I just practice 3 hours a day, and that's just talent. Sure, yeah, I you know, spent years studying my instrument, but I guess I'm just talented. Cool, sure, fine. Like, that's like one of those things where it's like, okay, let's just throw out all the actual hard parts of that. Sure, talent. Um, yeah, so it's like one of those things where it's like, if somebody tells you that you're talented, like if you're like a musician and someone hears you play and is like, wow, you're so talented, they probably don't, like they absolutely mean it as a compliment, but it's like one of those things where you're like, okay, it's a compliment, but I don't know if it's the thing I wanted to be complimented on, or it's not quite the way I wanted to be complimented, you know? Yeah. I'm conditioned the opposite way, where someone says something nice to me and I'm like, don't you lie to me. Well, like, I don't know. If you get enough compliments, surely you start to, like... I mean, I imagine that, you know, I can assume people are sincere because, you know, especially if the compliment is, like, unsolicited. But, like, surely some of them must be insincere, right? Surely some of the people who compliment me are trying to get something from me. Statistically speaking, there's gotta be, like, one, right? Yeah, if you go over some threshold, it's likely that all of chat will compliment you. Yeah, that's the thing. I never want to hit that point. I never want to hit the point of like everybody. Like it's one thing of like everybody agrees with Eggy, but like again, I don't want everybody to agree with me. I think you should agree with me on certain things. There are certain topics I would heavily prefer if people agreed with me on, but you know, it doesn't have to be like everything. And it's more than just opinions, right? Like, I think it's normal also to be like, hey, I agree with you on this, but I think you're going about it in the wrong way, kind of thing. And yeah, like, I never want to be somebody who doesn't, like, take criticism on that, you know? Yeah, it means I managed to impress a layperson, but it doesn't mean you're an outstanding musician. That too. Like, I don't know. Because, like, I don't know, I remember seeing other clips recently where, like, I think it was Mint Fantôme was saying how she's like, I don't think of myself as, like, a great singer, and people are like, what are you talking about? And it's like, no, I get where she's coming from. I get where she's coming from. Because, like, if you are around people who are, like, trained vocalists who have, like, you know, gone to school for this, and, like you know, you can tell, like, who is at what stage in their, you know, vocal skill progression, and, like, you know, you can tell when you are further ahead or behind somebody, you know? Okay, you demonstrated earlier on the stream that you disagree with less than Linux. Yeah. Yeah. Every chat message is a request for conversation in a way, so that is part of what chatters want. Do read the rest of that all of chat message. All of chat? All of chat. Sorry, I think I missed it. I don't know which one you're talking about. I'm not here if it's not always this, but I'm like, Eggy making me upset or mad with her streams. I'm not gonna show up that day and ruin your day, or the chat who might enjoy it. I'm just not gonna show up. Yeah. Well, that's the thing with, also with Twitch, right? Is like you can leave. Like, if it sucks, hit the bricks. You can leave. Just walk out. Playing game I don't enjoy. Talking about topic I don't want to discuss. Saying incorrect things about thing I'm more knowledgeable about. If it sucks, hit the bricks. Yeah. As a singer, you have to keep in mind who says a compliment and their credentials. They'll consider that chat is here because they like what you do to begin with. So it's self-selected for people who like your work as is already. True. And you're right about, like, who says a compliment. Because, like, on one hand, it's like, you know, if someone compliments you, I like to think of all compliments as evil, but I am aware evil. All compliments are evil. Equal. All compliments is equal. But, you know, there are people who know more than other people, right? And it's like one of those things where it's like, I don't want to be like, you know, my mom who has never studied vocal performance tells me my singing is good versus, like, you know, a singing teacher who tells me my singing is good, right? But what does Bloom say about your singing? Good things. And, like, again, people who I feel are more knowledgeable than me do, like, call upon me, they compliment me and they call upon me to do things. So I know I must be doing something right, but yeah, he's a music teacher. I don't think he actually teaches music, but he does do a lot of music stuff. Yeah. Yeah, I'm not gonna be like, you're bad, I'm just gonna go. That might explain your lack of criticism. Yeah. And, like, I guess that's the other thing, too, is that when you're a small VTuber, right? Like, I feel like if you're a big VTuber, like, if you're big enough that people are gonna see you even when they don't want to, then I imagine you're gonna attract more people who just want to yell at you, right? Whereas I feel like when you're small, you don't quite attract that, because I feel like people don't, you know, if you are, if EGGY is not omnipresent, if EGGY is not literally everywhere, you know, if you watch the EGGY stream and you don't like the EGGY stream, you can, like, leave and maybe, I don't know, maybe block me on Twitter or something, and then you never have to hear about me ever again, right? Ever. You know, maybe occasionally somebody might bring it up, but, like, you know, as opposed to, like, someone who's much bigger, where it's like, even if you block them, even if you stop watching their streams, it's hard to, like, escape them completely, right? Yeah, in those exact scenarios, I feel like to be successful or famous, you need to be more than just really good at something. So I'm telling someone they're good at singing, I'm not saying they have the potential to be a professional singer. True. And that's, like, true not just for singing, but for, like, almost anything. Like, it's one of those things where people are like, everything's just a popularity contest. And I don't think that's totally true. But, like, I do think that, like, being... I don't think it's necessarily that you have to be popular, but I just think being, like, likable and easy to work with will get you a lot further in, like, anything than, like, actually raw skill. Because, like, it doesn't matter how good you are at something if you're just, like, an absolute pain to work with, and everybody, like, dreads working with you, right? And it's like, I don't know, I guess unlikable people still deserve jobs, but, you know. Sometimes being likable and friendly is, like, a skill in itself. It is an asset in itself. Compliments from people who aren't in the habit of flattery are worth more, as well as compliments from someone very skilled in the specific field. Yeah, that's true. People who like ordinarily wouldn't compliment, and it's like, no, something I've done has driven them to like show this. I mean, yeah, that's true as well. You need antis to feel real. Oh, some criticism. I mean, the thing is that when you get criticism, is you can look at the criticism and then decide for yourself if the criticism is valid. I have received criticism. Some of it which I've looked at and I'm like, no, this is somebody who does not know what they're talking about. Or this is somebody who is just, you know, wants to be mad at something, you know? Yeah, and then there's other times I've looked at stuff and I'm like, okay, no, that's fair. I'll work on that, right? You think Chad has a habit of flattery or is sincere on average? I think you guys are pretty sincere. I think because you're pretty sincere. Yeah. Do read all of a chat message, please, even if you don't spell the whole message out on screen. I do read it. I do read it. Sometimes I just only have something to say about the first half. I'll take unlikable people maybe deserve to make a living. Well, yeah, because like sometimes I think about that with job interviews, you know, how like a lot of job interviews just like a vibe check, and I'm like, people who suck also deserve to be able to make a living, you know. Maybe within reason. Like, I mean, there's a certain degree of like, you know, maybe there's certain if you're bad enough, then maybe, you know, maybe I'd reconsider, but like, you know, people who are like, you know, aren't doing anything exactly wrong but are just very unlikable, I think they still deserve to have a job. That might be a hot take. That might be a hot take. Evil take. Some cultures and communities with lots of low self-esteem people will be filled with flattery, as criticism will be seen as hurtful. So one risks being stuck in a spiral of positive vibes without a chance to improve. It's a covert crab bucket mentality. I guess that's one way to put it. Like if everybody already has low self-esteem, I guess that makes sense. But I think it depends. It depends. Because I feel like when people have low self-esteem, sometimes you have the kind of people who have low self-esteem and like take it out on themselves. But then you also have like people who have low self-esteem and take it out on other people. And I think those are two separate responses, right? Because one of them will result in like, you know, flattery to the point of like, you know, self-flagellation. And the other one is like, you know, just outright insults and being mean to people. So, like, trying to, like, drag other people down to your level, right? Yeah. I don't think it inherently has to be that way. You just have to have enough people with enough self-awareness. Like, again, it's something I think people were not built to deal with, but we have to deal with it anyway. Yeah, criticizing someone takes the trust of the person that criticized can make use of it, I guess. That's true as well. That's true as well. Because, like, if a close friend criticizes something you do, that's different than if, like, a random stranger on the internet who's never seen you before is like, I don't like when they do this, you know? That's different, right? That's different. So, yeah, like, yeah. I'll say that aren't that separate of a response. The result will be the same. I'm Nietzschean about this. We're pulling out the actuallys again. Yeah, I don't know. I think it's more like I guess it's like more of like on an individual level. They're separate responses. Even if the result is the same for everybody. But yeah. I don't know. It's one of those things where I'm trying to keep a balance. Because sometimes I think about how I'm like, am I actually nice? Or did I just like put the word nice in my name and like gaslit everybody into thinking I'm nice? You know? It's like, am I actually nice? Or did Eggy therapy session? I don't know. Sometimes I think about that. You seem nice. Yeah, but it's like, sometimes I'm just like, I don't know, because I've met people who are nicer than me, and I'm like, am I failing? Am I failing at the thing in my name? I've met people who I'm like, I've met them and I'm like, oh man, they're way nicer than me. And it's like, okay, I mean, statistically speaking, some people maybe were just like acting that way, you know? Some of them were probably just acting that way. But like, still, it's like, I'm failing at my one job here. I have two jobs. I have Nice and Eggy. And like Eggy, usually I'm succeeding at that. But like, Nice failure. Nothing Eggy. Have you ever, okay, actually, have you guys ever seen that one picture of, like the picture of the cat that's like resting his face on top of the apple, and then like another one next to it that says that where like the cat is just like sitting there normally. Oh, thank you, Gone 7v7. Thank you for sprouting. And it's like, and then there's one that just says apple, and the other one says nothing. I think about that all the time. Bodega gave me a sticker at MagFest of like the cat resting on the apple, and I just looked at it and I said nothing. Like that just like fell out of my mouth. I was just like, nothing. Like that's just is like part of my vocabulary now. It's like apple, nothing. But then I feel like I keep like expanding it to other things. You get like apple pie, nothing pie. Apple cider, nothing cider. Apple juice, nothing juice. Crab apple, crab nothing. Nothing, nothing, nothing. Yeah, you tease me from time to time, but I assume that's endearing and not meanness. You are correct. You are correct. Well, because like if we only sat around and said only nice things about each other, then like I feel like that would get a little boring after a while, wouldn't it? That would get a little boring. You have to be a little mean. I guess authentic is a better word. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, the community punching bag, is that it? I don't know. I feel like for all the memes I see from other people posting about like chat bullying the streamer, I think the streamer can also bully chat. I'm assuming that's okay. I'm assuming that's not like screwing up the power dynamic. I'm assuming. Not really, it won't get boring at all for a narcissist or someone without much self-esteem. Well, because like I think about how like I feel like I've been seeing a lot of stories recently with like ChatGPT and what they called like sycophantic behavior, you know, where like ChatGPT does nothing but like agree with you and say nice things about you. Because I guess that keeps people using the service. Whether it was done intentionally or not is like a whole other thing. But like, I don't know, I feel it's... I don't think I could go for that. I think I would get tired of it after a while, you know? I don't need one person to praise me constantly. Hi, I don't speak English, but I wish you good luck with your stream. Thank you. What language do you speak? Yeah, GPT Model 4 was very agreeable. Model 5 isn't, so a lot of Reddit was heartbroken. Heartbroken. My AI disagreed with me. Well, because like, that's what I even think about with like, with people, or especially when I hear like stories about people using like AI for like relationships, and I'm like, do you want to be in a relationship with someone who always agrees with you? Because I don't think I would want to be, because that would be boring. Like, it's nice when people agree with you, but it's not like an expectation I would have going in. That would be pretty boring. Like, you know, having disagreements is just like part of having a relationship of any kind, right? You can't avoid that. And like, disagreement isn't always necessarily bad, right? I speak Spanish, sorry, taco. Hola. Soy huevo. Biblioteca. I don't know. I don't know much more Spanish other than soy huevo. I don't know. The only other Spanish I know is like the stuff you would learn from Dora. Like, gracias. Hola. Rojo. Azul. That's about all I got. Yeah, having no disagreements also stunts your growth. Well, like, I don't know. I feel like if I met somebody and they were talking about like their relationship and they're like, I never argue or disagree with my partner, I would assume that either there's many things that they are just not talking about, or, you know, this is just like a worse situation than they're letting on, you know? Yeah, AI boyfriends are so smart and fine-tuned to the user. They can tell when the girl user does not want to be constantly agreed with and disagree with the exact perfect measure. Like, 30% disagree. This is a 30% disagree situation and not a 70% disagree situation. Soy berenjena? I don't know. I don't know what that means. ¿Dónde estás la biblioteca? I'm assuming that was supposed to be biblioteca. Or no, wait, the other one I know, the other Spanish I know is ¿Dónde estás la baño? Because I know that's like, where's the washroom? Because I know that's like the important sentence to know in every language. I love fighting though, especially in public. The thrill of a live audience. Oh my god. Okay, the other day I was at I went to Panera. And I don't know what it is about Panera, because I don't go to Panera very often. But somehow, and I don't know if this is like, please tell me if this is like a universal experience. I feel like every time I've been to a Panera and actually like eaten there, there is somebody having an extremely loud, extremely dramatic phone conversation. I don't know if it's the same person every time. And I don't know what it is about Panera that makes people have, like, the most important conversation of their life over the phone. But, yeah, I don't know. Maybe, because I keep going to the same location, so maybe it's just like... Maybe it's just like somebody who... I don't know if it's the same person over and over. Maybe it's just like one person frequenting the same location over and over who just has like a very dramatic life. But like... I don't know why. Every single time, there's just somebody having a very loud phone conversation about something of great importance. Or that seems to be of great importance. Maybe it's not actually of great importance. But yeah, I don't know. Does bread and soup... do sandwiches and soup make you want to have loud arguments over the phone? Please let me know if this is a universal experience. Tu parles français, n'est-ce pas? Oui, je parle français. Someone's gonna do like a French phrase redeem and I'm gonna have to think of something to say. I would have a large argument if I paid Panera prices too. I mean, yeah, but over the phone? Because the thing is, I've never seen people have like an argument in person in Panera. It's always over the phone. It's always over the phone. It's the lemonade caffeine. I don't think they even serve it here in Canada anymore. I don't think I saw it when I was there. They just had like the regular iced teas. Cinq minutes de français. Did you learn French at school? Did you have French speakers in the family? Les deux. J'ai fait l'immersion en français à l'école, de primaire jusqu'au université. Jusqu'à l'université. Puis, le côté de ma mère, ils viennent de Québec, alors j'ai aussi appris le français de ça. Quand je parle à ma famille qui vient de Québec, mon français, parce que le français que j'ai appris à l'école, c'est très c'est-so. Mais quand je parle à ma famille au Québec, mon français, ça devient plus québécois. Mais ce français... Je peux seulement parler le français québécois quand je suis autour des autres personnes qui viennent de Québec. Just a phrase you say, non. Bon, peut-être je devrais... peut-être le prix pour celui-là, c'est pas assez haut. Mais... Oui, peut-être... Oh... Je devrais faire ce que j'ai dit que j'allais faire l'autre jour. Avec aussi les prix. Les prix pour les redeems. J'ai appris à l'école quand j'étais 12 ans, mais c'était pas ma langue plus forte et je parle l'européen. Oui, parce que j'habite au Canada. Alors, le français au Canada, c'est un peu... Parce que si tu n'habites pas au Québec, il n'y a pas toujours beaucoup de situations où tu vas avoir besoin d'utiliser le français. Alors, si souvent, ce que j'ai trouvé à l'école primaire, c'était qu'il y avait beaucoup de personnes dans ma classe ils étaient en immersion français parce que leurs parents ont dit il faut que tu apprennes français, mais ils ne savaient pas vraiment pourquoi ils avaient besoin de parler français parce qu'ils ne savaient pas, ils savaient personne qui parlait français autre qu'à l'école. Mais l'autre chose avec le français au Canada, en immersion français, c'est que la plupart des ressources, des livres et tout ça, c'est fait, c'est écrit dans le français européen, comme le français parisien. Euh, mais le français parisien, c'est un peu différent que le français québécois. Quand j'étais en 8e année, on a fait un voyage au Québec. Et moi, je pourrais comprendre, je pouvais comprendre ce qu'il disait parce que j'avais de la famille qui habite au Québec, mais j'avais des autres élèves dans ma classe qui ne pouvaient pas. Ils sont allés au Québec et puis ils ont trouvé qu'ils comprenaient rien. Parce que le français québécois, c'était si différent que le français qu'on a appris à l'école. Mais il y a aussi, on utilise un peu de les deux parce que je sais qu'il y a des mots en français en France qu'ils utilisent, mais qu'ils n'utilisent pas au Québec. Ou qu'ils utilisent au Québec, mais pas en France. Par exemple, je crois qu'en France, ils disent email, comme pour email, mais en français au Québec, ils disent courriel. Parce que je crois que c'est un peu de... C'est un peu comme ils ne veulent pas que le français devienne trop anglais, mais en France, c'est comme, oh, ça va se passer. Mais oui, parce que... Oui, je crois que comme en France, ils disaient le parking, mais en Québec, c'est comme le stationnement. Je souhaite que tout le monde parle français en Canada comme première langue. L'Amérique du Nord est être ennuyeux avec juste des anglais et de l'espagnol. On a besoin de troisième langue. Mais, ben, c'est probablement... Apprendre une nouvelle langue, c'est bon pour le cerveau, n'est-ce pas? Alors, peut-être comme... Ben, même les étudiants... Les étudiants américains, ils ont besoin d'apprendre une autre langue, n'est-ce pas? En école secondaire. Comme il y en a ceux qui apprennent l'espagnol, mais ici, au Canada, le français, c'est obligatoire jusqu'à 9e année. Someone DM me when French time is over. Il y en a seulement... Je crois qu'il y en a seulement un minute qui reste. Seulement 1 minute. Vous pouvez comprendre ça, 1 minute. Il y en a seulement 1 minute qui reste. It's called Metropolitan French, if I remember correctly. Ah, il y a un mot pour ça? Le Paris. Français Paris. Ben, même en école secondaire, on avait un exercice d'écoute avec des autres dialectes de français. Alors, il y avait, je crois qu'il y avait un français de Belgique. Et puis, il y avait quelques types de français africains. Et ça, c'était vraiment... Même pour moi, c'était comme... c'est français, ça? Ben, c'est un peu... Ah, les lunettes. C'est un peu comme en anglais. Il y a ceux qui peuvent pas comprendre certains types d'anglais d'Irlande ou du... Oh, j'ai oublié le mot pour England en français. Angleterre. Je fais aussi Dutch dans le Midwest des États-Unis et italien dans l'Argentine. Tout le monde doit apprendre toutes les langues. I have Anglicized French last name, I got French blood, no desire to learn French. Ben, c'est pas obligatoire. Mais c'est bon pour le cerveau. Oh, Deutsch, c'est allemand. Oui. Ça, c'est ce que je pensais. Le German. I was only taught to say in French, bonjour, mademoiselle. Pardon, je suis stupide. Oh, omelette de fromage. Okay, I think French time is over. I think the 5 minutes is up. We're probably good. We're probably good. But yeah, learning languages is good for your brain. I also remember that the word for glasses in French is lunette, and I think that's really cute. You know, they're just les lunettes. It's cute, right? It's cute. You know? I don't think I'm smart enough to learn language. I promise many people dumber than you have probably learned, like, more languages than you have. I'm sorry, I worded that in a way that sounded like an insult. That meant to be encouraging, not an insult, not insulting. If you could choose any language to instantly know it to a native level, what would you choose? Hard mode, no Japanese. I feel from a practical level, Mandarin Chinese, I think. From a practical level, I think that would be probably partly because, like, there are, like, if you live in an area with a lot of Chinese people, there's going to be a need to know it for a job, but also because if, like, it would help me learn Japanese since I would already know a whole bunch of kanji. Arrogant egg. Faye missed the entire conversation about compliments. Yeah. Lune is moon, crescent shape, lunette is glasses, also crescent shape. Yeah, lunette, it's really cute. It sounds really cute. It's probably one of the cutest words in French, I think. In English, it's just glasses. Yeah, it's les lunettes. And, what are some other cute French words? Turtle is tortue. That's kind of cute. And tortue. Okay, Faye, whatever you just said got filtered, so I'm just not gonna allow it because I have no idea what that means. Yeah, if you wish to help humanity as a whole, you could choose to learn an ancient forgotten language and therefore really help the fields of archaeology, linguistics, and history. I mean, yeah, but, like, would they believe me if I said I spoke it? It's potato in German. Okay, well, somehow potato in German, I don't know if it has other connotations because it got filtered for reason, race, ethnicity, or religion. So I don't know if, like, potato is, like, slang for... German people, can you help me out with this? Is potato, like, is... Calling someone a potato is a slur, kind of? Okay, I was figured. I was like, is it... It was, okay. I was like, it's like, I mean, I guess it can be an insult. I mean, calling somebody a potato in English is also an insult, but, like, I wouldn't really call it a slur, right? You can have slur connotation. You can also use potato as a tag for your stream. Interesting. Yeah, I have degrees in history, but I do American history, so I don't have to learn another language professionally. Yeah, in German it's not really a slur. Interesting that I don't think the word potato, it's not blocked in English. But it's blocked in German for some reason. Curious. Maybe it's just more commonly used as an insult in German. Because, again, I've mentioned the time that, like, I put Twitch, like, auto mod to, like, the highest setting, and it was filtering, like, everything. It was filtering, like, if somebody said the name of, like, a nationality in any context, it would filter it. So if someone's like, hey, I'm thinking of learning Chinese, it would filter it for Chinese because it's like, they're mentioning nationality, they could be being racist about this. Or, like, it was filtering certain words that seemed totally random to me, but, like, British people were telling me apparently were, like, considered, like, slang terms. Not especially offensive ones, but I guess it was just, like, filtering for anything that could be even slightly vulgar. But, yeah. How about learning Inuit language? I mean... Yeah, Scunthorpe moment. Yeah, yeah. It's like it's time to learn all the languages that were the endangered languages. Yeah. No, I've known people named Cassidy who have gotten like their names when they try to sign up for stuff, like their name would get like filtered because like a website would be like, haha, that says ass in it. There's ass in it. I can't let you through. That can't possibly be a real name. Yeah. Being a lost language. But I don't know. The thing is that if you learn a lost language, how would you, like, prove it? Like, if you approach a bunch of researchers and you were like, hi, I'm fluent in this lost language. Would they believe you, or would they, like, there's a chance that you can just make it up? You're just making it up entirely. Yeah, people with long names have a lot of fun too, or extremely short names. Yeah. I think, I don't know. I know I've heard of some people, when they move to Japan, or I've seen this apparently happens a lot in South Korea as well. Because, like, in South Korea, usually people's names are like 3 syllables, right? So they end up being like 3 characters, maybe 4 at the most. So sometimes what will happen is like when you have people who like move to Korea but have like don't have a Korean name, they have trouble signing up for stuff because it keeps telling them that their name is too long because it's like longer than the like 4 characters that they were allotted, even if they write it in Korean. Yeah, through linguistics, and you're able to read the untranslatable text in a cohesive, rational way. I mean, yeah, but like, you could just be making it up, right? If it's a dead language, then there's not going to be anybody else to tell you that you're right or wrong, right? And start publishing papers about ancient civilization languages and just make everything up. Because, like, that's got to have happened before, right? There's got to be somebody out there who has, like, you know, ruined an entire field because they, like, claimed to speak a language that they didn't. They were just making everything up. Rui is a male first name in Portuguese, but it's a nasty word in Slavic languages. Well, a guy named Rui I know married a Polish girl, and her parents only learned his first name at the wedding. Ugh. Well, I mean, that's unavoidable to have, like, a name that means something bad in another language, right? Sorry, I have hiccups now. Hold on, I'm just gonna, like... I still have hiccups.
Boo.
Yeah, wasn't there a time when like a bunch of people got caught faking ASL? I think I heard about that. Wasn't it like a police department? I think so, somewhere in the States, I think I heard about that. It was like a police department or something, and they hired like a sign language interpreter for when they would do like press, you know, press conferences or something. And then it turns out that like, yeah, the sign language interpreter was just making it up, and apparently it was just like somebody who just volunteered. Like, it wasn't like someone they hired. She just like walked in and was like, hey, I can do sign language for you. And they were like, oh, sure. And it's like, aren't you the police? Don't you have the ability to like run background checks on people? It happened more than once. Is there that many people out there who are just like faking sign language? Like, it's not even, is it a case of like people who are bad at their jobs, or is it like a case of like people just like making stuff up? I need to restart the music. Hold on. Yeah, South Africa had someone like this too. Eggy, you're a fish. Fish don't have hiccups. Why are you trying to convince me of this? You're just gonna be like, actually, eggs can't hiccup. Eggs don't have lungs. Yeah, like, I'm like, is it like people who like are just underqualified, or just people who are making stuff up? How many people are out there just making stuff up? Why would they lie about knowing sign language when they would be found out immediately? I mean, I guess maybe it wasn't immediately. But like surely there's got to be some kind of qualification for sign language interpreters, right? Like there's got to be some kind of like, you know, in the same way that like, you know, if you're claiming you can translate to Japanese, you tell people like, oh yeah, I have like a JLPT N2 or something, right? Like there's got to be some kind of like sign language certification, right? That you can like show people to be like, hey, I know sign language for real. You notice that some Reddit LARPer ruined the Scots language records forever by making stuff up and putting it on Wikipedia. True. I heard about that too. True. Like, but yeah, like, it can't be that hard to find a sign language interpreter, right? To find a qualified one. Surely it can't be that difficult. Actually, I don't know. I was thinking about this recently because I had watched K-pop Demon Hunters. And I remember, like, I was sitting through the credits, you know, because I like to do that. And I just remember, like, looking at the credits and being like, first, I'm like, wow, it's insane how many people work on a single movie. Like, but I remember there was something in there that was like, it was like something like sign language consultant. And then I remembered there was like literally one part. There was like one part in the movie where there's like a newscast. And there's like, you know, they're doing the thing where they have like the broadcaster talking and there's like somebody in the corner who's like doing sign language. And I was like, oh yeah, I guess I do have to hire somebody to like, you know, sign out, like to like at least, you know, film themselves signing it so the animators have like reference to make sure that like they're putting it like sign language that's readable and not just like random sign language gibberish. Yeah. Also, a Bulgarian housewife kept editing Wikipedia with misinformation denigrating Turkish history. Oh yeah, I'm sure there's probably like a lot of Wikipedia pages that are just constantly at war. But like, I'm sure edit wars are probably a thing for certain like contentious pages. They made a thumbs up, they must be an expert. It was probably a like a lowest kind of bid kind of deal, and the cheapest was someone who barely knew what they were doing. Yeah, maybe. They don't have like the budget for a proper interpreter. Ugh, hiccup. Yeah, Assassin's Creed Shadows has something with a historian making... Wait, was it like making it up within the context of the story? Or was it like they consulted somebody and they're like, hey, please tell us about the history of this era, and then they just like made a bunch of stuff up? Consulted. Oh, what the egg doing? Yeah, yapping. Okay, literally yesterday I made a, like, because I made the schedule at the beginning of the week, and I was like, I don't really know what I want to do on Thursday. I know I'm not going to be available on Sunday. Like, I don't really know. So I would just put in, like, TBA, right? And then it was, like, yesterday, and I was like, I still don't know what I want to do. And then I'm like, I'll figure it out. I'll cross that bridge when I get there. I got other things to do today. And then I woke up this morning, I'm like, I still don't know what I want to do. I don't know. I didn't think this far. I had plans for tomorrow, but not for today. So, yeah, we're yapping. I guess when all fails, we have yapping. I remember I live in a pretty small town, so I'd edit my town's Wikipedia page to increase it by a few pixels every day until it looked like half of Illinois, then I'd modlock the page. Well, it's like, okay, wasn't that like, back in, like, the ancient times when, Selene was at Niji-sanji, there was somebody, and like, this is a running joke that I think she's taken into the future, but I remember there was somebody who would go on, like, the Niji-sanji, like, fan wiki, and would edit Selene's neck to be, like, 1 pixel longer, and they just did this to see how long it would take for somebody to notice. Until she got, like, a giraffe neck. Nani wasn't he? Okay, yeah. Yeah, I remember somebody, yeah, the Selene neck incident. Yeah, and I think she's carried it into the future. She carried it into the future, but I definitely remember that was a thing. Of just like, how long can we, how much longer can we make the neck before somebody says something? Yeah. Should play Digimon World 1. Yeah, but other games have eggs in them too. Because I was gonna do dailies too, and then I accidentally did all my dailies last night. I was like, oops. 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 Oops, oops. Editing Murray's neck to be 1 pixel longer. I don't know, I think my neck is already pretty long. Like, the secret is that every single VTuber has like an insanely long neck. But the thing is, it's because of the way that live 2D rigging works, right? Because if you give your VTuber, like, a neck of appropriate size, then you're going to run into the issue where if they lift their head too high, then the, like, it will just cut off, right? That's like the reason why every VTuber seems to have like insanely long necks. It's just, that's something they actually have to tell artists when they're making a like live 2D model, is like, make the neck as long as possible. Like, draw how long you think the neck should be and then just like double it. Because like, you need somewhere, you gotta make sure that like this will still like be long enough when the head is in motion, you know? Did Mahjong Handle? I did all of them. Well, I didn't do Scrandle, but I did Rattle, I did Wordle, like I did all of them last night, and then I woke up this morning, I'm like, oh, I could do dailies, and I'm like, wait a second, no I can't. I already did all my dailies. You can't have your dailies and finish them too. Wow, 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 wow. Wow. But yeah, I don't think I've ever. I think I've edited. Did I ever edit a Wikipedia page? Oh, you know what? I think I edited a fan wiki once, and then the website would just not stop emailing me. Because that's the thing I find. If you edit a fan wiki, like on Fandom, like I did way back in like 2015 or 2016, then every single time somebody makes a change to the page, it emails you. It was very annoying. Like, every single time, it would like email me. It's like, somebody made an edit to this, and like the edit would be like correcting a typo or something. And I'm like, okay, just because I made this like an edit to this page 10 years ago, you can unwatch the page. And keep in mind, this is the only page I've ever edited in my entire time. Like, I've never edited any other Wikipedia page or wiki page on anything. It's just that one. Like, I don't even know if any of my edits are still there. Do them again and act like you don't know the answer. I don't know, hold on. I'm gonna like see if I can like... I'm gonna like, cause I don't think I can say which page it was because I'm not sure if like that would somehow dox me in some way. I'm just trying to see if any of my edits are there. Oh, they're still there! They're still there! I think somebody probably went back and fixed the way I spelled something. People reworded it, but my bank of knowledge is still there. It's still there. Yeah. Yeah. My edits live on. This is my legacy. But yeah. Yeah. But that's the only time I've ever edited a wiki page. I've looked through, sometimes on other pages, I've looked through like the talk section, where it's just people arguing over what should and shouldn't be on the page, but yeah. I don't think I've ever made edits. It's very funny too when you're just watching like two people just like adding and taking away the same paragraph. Like it's like one person is like adding a paragraph and then somebody else is like, I don't think this belongs here, and then like takes it out, and this person's like, this important context is missing, and then they add it back, and then someone's like, this context is irrelevant and should belong on a different page, and they take it off. And look at like the edit history, and it's just like two people going back and forth about one place. Yeah, I've edited pages on a few wikis, including Wikipedia. Yeah, I don't think I've never edited Wikipedia. But I also don't feel like I'm knowledgeable enough on any topic to edit a Wikipedia. I don't know. I guess maybe I could become the kind of person who, like, makes the basic outline, because I feel like there's a lot of, like, pages on Wikipedia that exist in Japanese, but not in English, because they're about things that are, like, more relevant in Japan than they are outside of Japan. I'm sure I could become the kind of person who's, you know, starts, like, a bare bones Wikipedia page for, like, some voice actors or something, right? Because there's a lot of pages that, like, again, they just, like, don't exist in English. Which is a little annoying. But, yeah. Yeah. Oh, it has been almost 4 hours. It has. What time is it? 3:07. I have to go to... I'm going to Aquafit today. I'm gonna go Aquafit. I don't know. Last night I also had to dump like when I got home I had to dump like so much laundry in the laundry machine because I realized I signed up for Aquafit and I didn't actually have a swimsuit that was clean and I'm like, oops. Hello, what are we talking about? I'm talking about Aquafit. And laundry. Only 20 hours left. Until what? What's tomorrow? What, 20 hours left of laundry? What's tomorrow? What's in 20 hours? What's happening at... What is it, like... Oh, of stream. I'm not doing a 24-hour stream. I need to sleep at some point. And also rest my voice. Because I thought of singing this morning, and then I don't know, started talking, and I'm like, no, I don't think my voice is having it. Does she know I've been locked into doing a 24-hour stream? That I signed some contract. Like, contractually obligated. No, I think the longest stream I've done is like 10 hours, I think. I think 10 hours or maybe 12 hours is like the furthest I've stretched it. I don't know. I don't think I'm a marathon streamer. I definitely stream longer than I used to. Like, it's so wild to think that there was a time where I thought like 1 hour was a long time to stream for. Like, you know when you're starting out and you're just like, whoa, I streamed for a whole hour. And then you're like, looking back, you're like, 1 hour stream? That's like nothing. I will talk for 1 hour. I will regularly talk and not realize it's been 1 hour yet. I will just be yapping. And then I'm like, oh, it's been an hour. Like, this happens like every stream. I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna talk for like half an hour just to get the ad break out of the way at the beginning. And then I'm like, and then I look back down and then I'm like, oh, oops, it's been 45 minutes. So yeah, like nowadays I'm like, I can yap for an hour without even noticing. It's like, how did I used to think that, like, you know, 1 hour was a long time? We've been talking for 4 hours now. We're never getting to the game. There was no game. There is no game. Whoa, an hour. What's wrong with me? End already. Me every time I stream. Yeah, it's like that. It feels like that. Or it's like, I don't know. I guess I also used to do shorter streams. Like, I feel like my streams, before I went to Japan, they were usually like 2.5 to 3 hours. Like, they were much shorter. But that's also because I had places to be. that is the place, that was where I had to be. That's where I had to go, right? Like, I had to go to work after that. So it's not like I didn't want to stream for longer. It's that usually I had work to go to after. So it's like, okay, I need to finish, like, now. Because otherwise I'm not going to be able to have time to, you know, catch the bus, you know? An hour to Zatsu is pretty usual for streamer. Clavio even does too. Yeah. And I know it's also different. Like, I feel like if you stream on YouTube, like, I feel like a 1 hour Zatsu is, like, more common there. Whereas on Twitch, I feel like people have a tendency to go for longer. Like... Because, like, I don't know. Then again, I wouldn't be against doing 1 hour streams. Because I think that, like, you know, 1 hour stream is still better than no hour stream, right? If I stream and I only stream for an hour, you know, that's an hour. That's 1 more hour of EGGY. You know, you're getting the eggy regardless, just less eggy, but that's okay, right? But speaking of Eggy, Eggy will be back tomorrow. It might be almost time for it to be less eggy. Less eggy o'clock. Yeah. I went from 24-hour stream to making 1-hour streams. I don't know. What if you make 24 1-hour streams? What about that? You really just space it out. Space it out. You know, stream for 1 hour for 24 days. Instead of like, imagine that. It's just like, okay, you get 24 hours. So it's like, okay, you have 1 hour stream for 24 days, or you get like a 24-hour stream, and then you just like disappear for like 3 weeks. Alright, who's on? Who's on? Who's on? Zia is on. Beba is on. Oh, Soy Milk is on. Okay, actually we should raid Soy, because I haven't been able to do that in a little while. Oh, a lot of people are on. What is going on? Yeah, we'll raid Soy. We'll raid Soy. Yeah. Thanks for the stream. Thank you for being here. Thank you for putting up with my absolute lack of planning. I promise I have something planned on purpose for tomorrow. So tomorrow, what we are going to be doing is I want to play against you. We're going to be playing this. So this is a game that's literally just, it's exactly what it sounds like. I want to get better at typing. Because, like, I've been practicing. My current average, I think, seems to be 85 words per minute, which is not enough. That's not enough words per minute. But the thing is that, like, it's so weird because, like, I'm way better at typing on my laptop keyboard than on my computer keyboard. So we'll have to see how it goes. Because I feel like whenever I type up, like, I'll do some practice on my computer. And then my average will go down because I type slower on my keyboard. And then, like, I will go into my laptop. And then I'll do some practice, and then the average will go back up, because I somehow am faster on my laptop. So you ordered the Japanese textbook already? I will today. I'll do it today. Imagine new VTuber, they start with a countdown to their graduation. Each stream counts down. I mean, I did see one VTuber, what was her name? Nenkan Alice, I think. She had tried to do a thing kind of like, you know, like Markiplier's, what was it called? Like Unis Annus or something? Where it was just like, here's a bunch of stuff we're doing over the course of 1 year, and then after it's gone, it will just all disappear. I saw somebody try to do that with like a VTuber. I don't remember if she actually completed the project, though. I guess your laptop has a better keyboard. I think the thing is that, like, the keys on it are, like, lighter. Because, like, this is like a mechanical keyboard. So it's chunkier. It's much chunkier, whereas my laptop keyboard is like a very flat kind of thing. So I think maybe I just get tripped up on the bigger, chunkier keys, but yeah. Yeah, it was kind of Alice. She completed it, but not as well as she would have liked. Okay, but she did finish it. Okay, that's good. But yeah, just like countdown to graduation. Like, we are born. No, we debut knowing one day we will graduate. Even so, we stream. Okay. Soy. We're raiding Soy. That's what I decided. We're raiding into Soy Milk. She is doing Peggle. Peggle 2. Oh, is she on a BRB? Oh, she's been going for like 3 hours. Well, I don't know. I feel like she's done longer streams than that. I guess 5 hours isn't like that far away, right? 3 hours is not that. This is fine. Okay, but we're gonna raid. So we're doing type racer tomorrow. I hope you all type very quickly. But until then, we're going to raid Soy Milk. And what will we say? What will we say to Soy Milk? Nothing raid. Because we did nothing today. Nothing, Raid. Raid, nothing. Apple, nothing. VTuber, nothing. Nothing. So yes, I will be back tomorrow. I will not be streaming Sunday. Do not expect anything this weekend. I am busy. I am touching grass. I touched grass yesterday. I will touch grass. Well, I guess not tomorrow, but like I will touch grass Saturday and Sunday. I'm gonna be touching excessive amounts of grass. So I will not be streaming. But thank you all for being here. Now it's your turn. You can either touch grass or watch Soy Milk. Both are fine. Both are fine. Thank you. Bye-bye. Look at my cool end card. Yippee!